Welcome back. It's What If Naruto was banished from Konoha for 10 years and then wanted back? Like and sub if you haven't already, and let's begin. Naruto-sama. You have visitors. Naruto raised his head to look at the young brunette who just entered his office. Her name is Akira, Naruto's personal assistant. She was a beautiful pixie-like woman a few years older than Naruto himself. Who is it? Naruto asked softly, remembering that he had no appointments this evening. One Miss Sakura Haruno from Konoha, Naruto-sama. Naruto blinked, surprised. Sakura? Here? Seeing her boss's perplexed state, the woman said, worried. I can tell her that you are not available. It's okay, Akira. She won't leave until she sees me. Send her in 10 minutes. I need some time to organize my thoughts. Akira nodded respectfully and exited the office. Alone in his office again, Naruto leaned back in the executive chair and let his thoughts wander. It has been 10 years since his banishment from Konoha, all because of the same person who was currently visiting. They had kicked him out of his village, shattered his dreams, all because he bought back his traitorous teammate. Use of unnecessary force, murder attempt, disregard of orders. Demon scum, you lied to us, you are a monster. How dare you do that to Sasuke-kun? We risked our lives trying to bring him back, and you try to kill him because you are jealous. I am ashamed to say that you are my student, Naruto. Naruto, I only asked you to bring him back, not kill him. Do you know how important Sasuke is to the village? I am sorry, Naruto. If I try to help you, the council will banish me to. Accusations kept replaying in his mind like a broken record. Everyone he thought as his precious people had abandoned him. It hurt so much. Those that didn't see him as a monster saw him as an irresponsible idiot run by his jealousy. Tsunade, Iruka, Jiraiya, every last one of them. After all he had done, they discarded him like trash. So, why are they here now? You know for sure that Sakura didn't come alone. What should he do? Act like she hadn't stabbed him in the back? Or be furious and try to smash her head in? Try as he might, he couldn't be angry anymore. He had forgotten all his anger a long time ago. Holding grudges was not Naruto's specialty anyway. But no matter what he did, he knows that he needs Konoha. There was a short knock. Komi? He muttered, preparing himself. The door opened and Sakura Haruno entered in all her pink-haired glory. Hello, Naruto-kun, she said with a soft tone that was filled with something that sounded like guilt. Her beautiful emerald eyes filled with tears, and Naruto couldn't help the gentle smile that spread on his lips. That was all Sakura needed to launch herself towards Naruto and take him in a desperate and bone-crushing hug. Her loud sobs echoing across the office as both of them fell out of the chair and onto the marble floor, but still in an embrace. Naruto didn't mind. He just simply kept holding her silently until the woman ran out of tears. 2 months earlier, Sakura, Hokage-sama wishes to see you, Shizen told Tsunade's second apprentice. I wonder why? Sakura pondered. It's about a mission. Shizen shrugged. Sakura nodded and left to meet her teacher. When she arrived at the Hokage's office, she saw that Team 8, 9, and 10 along with their senseis were there. She saw her own teammates, Sasuke and Sai, and Sensei as well. Now that Sakura is here, I'll explain the mission to you. Everyone stood at attention. You all know that over the past 10 years, the condition of the village is steadily deteriorating. We have lost all our allies, including Sand Village, Spring, Wave, Tea, and Moon countries. And we all know that this is because of our own mistake. Many of them lowered their heads, remembering about how they disregarded Konoha's sunshine. Everything came crashing down when he was gone. Naruto was banished as soon as news spread that Sasuke was in coma. Sasuke woke up a week after Naruto's banishment. They only understood the depth of what they had done once Inoichi had run a medical checkup on Sasuke to make sure he was sane and had seen the memories of his fight with Naruto. Inoichi was quick to explain everything to Tsunade, who had been horrified that Naruto had came so close to dying. Yet he held back so as not to harm Sasuke. And the thanks he get was banishment. But no matter how much he tried, the council kept her from revoking the banishment. All of their ally countries and villages were thankful to the Uzumaki in many ways, and once news spread of his banishment, their relationship with Konoha became strained. Many of the rookies also felt guilty except a select few. Jiraiya had spent all his resources trying to locate Naruto and failed. 2 years later, when the hidden village of demons were established, all of Konoha's allies cut their ties and instead became allies with the village. The council was furious at the loss of their allies and had ordered to attack Demon Village, which Tsunade was able to put a stop to, or else they would have been slaughtered. The ninjas of Demon Village was more efficient as well as more compassionate. To all their surprise, Demon Village never attacked any other village, instead established a peace treaty with every village except Konoha. Demon Village was known for many things: their advanced technology, sealing techniques, Kenjutsu, and the main fact that they were a peaceful village in and out. They were powerful but compassionate. They became quite popular among small non-shinobi villages and as well as shinobi villages. They had even attempted peace talks with Konoha, but sadly that ended in a disaster because of the council. It was only luck that the village didn't declare war on Konoha for such disrespect, but as it is, their Kage is a very benevolent and peaceful man. Sound Village has declared war on US, and we have no allies. The rookies gasped. That is why I am giving you this mission. Me and the council has come to a decision that all our problems was caused by the banishment of Uzumaki Naruto. So your mission is to retrieve him. Again, they all gasped, then became happy. With Naruto back in the village, we can get back our allies and have the power of the Kyuubi by our side. Tsunade said, "We will bring the Baka back, Tsunade-sama. You can count on us." Sakura said with a determined grin. They searched for Naruto for a total of 2 months, yet they didn't get any clue as to where the blonde is. Their last place of searching was the famous Demon Village. They requested for a meeting with the Onigage. The Onigage will be meeting you now. A young red-haired, emerald-eyed girl came and announced. She looked like the secretary of the Kage. But I cannot allow all of you to enter the office. Kakashi nodded. In the end, Kakashi, Asuma, Kurenai, Guy, and Shikamaru entered the office. The rest were allowed to relax in the lounge near the office. The Onigage was a breathtaking sight. The young man looked to be around his mid-20s, had ruby red hair that was long and reached mid-back with a spiky fringe framing his forehead. He had mesmerizing sunset orange eyes and aristocratic features that would make men and women drool alike. The pale milky skin and the slender neck. Everyone present was disappointed that the rest of the skin was hidden inside his robes. The Onigage chuckled, and only then did they realize that they were blatantly staring. I am Kayashiro Kurama, the Shodai Onigage. What brings Konoha Shinobi to our humble village? The deep, husky voice had them shivering in delight. They all bowed in respect. Onigage-sama, we came in search of someone, Kakashi said. And who might that someone be? Uzumaki Naruto, a former member of our village. Asuma said. They all saw the Onigage become confused. What do you wish to do with him? He's here? Kakashi asked, surprised. Yes, and he is very much under my protection. So, I ask again, what is your intention with him? The Onigage narrowed his eyes in suspicion and slight anger. We merely wish to speak with him, Onigage-sama. We intend no harm. It will be troublesome if Naruto is under the Onigage protection. We don't want to cause an international event, Shikamaru thought. I see. The Onigage studied them for a moment. The heavy gaze was unsettling, yet undeniably hot. I will have one of my shinobi escort you to his office. Do not do anything that will bring my wrath upon you, Konoha ninja. He is someone well respected within this village. The Onigage's words surprised the shinobi present. It seems that Naruto have a good life here. This will surely reduce their chances of bringing him back. But hopefully Naruto still loves Konoha. A shinobi appeared inside the office in a shunshin, startling them. AI, take these Konoha ninja to visit Naruto-san. AI was a male with bright blonde hair and bluish-green eyes. He was pale and had boyish but handsome features. He looked at the Konoha ninja suspiciously before looking at the Onigage with a little doubt. The Onigage only nodded his head at AI. The boy sighed and said, "Follow me." And then he walked out of the office. Once outside, the rest of the group joined them. Where are we going? Sasuke asked, annoyed. To meet Naruto. Kakashi said, "He's here?" Sakura asked, surprised. Apparently, he is someone very well respected in this village. Asuma said. This caused some of them to frown. Obviously, none of them knows about the Kyuubi. If they did, they wouldn't give him any respect. Sakura said with a scoff. Everyone in the village knows about the Naruto and Kyuubi Kunoichi-san. AI, who was walking ahead, said, causing their eyes to widen. So then, obviously, you are using him for his power. You only keep him here because he is a Jinchuriki. Ino said smugly, like she discovered some secret. AI gave her a look that meant, Are you fucking stupid? This caused Ino to scowl. What? She snapped. AI only shook his head and walked forward. Why do you find it so difficult to believe that Naruto-sama can find respect despite being a Jinchuriki? AI muttered so that only several of them really heard it. They all looked around. The village was very different from theirs. The buildings were all built differently and uniquely. They were really beautiful. What is that? Ino asked, seeing a woman tapping on some rectangular piece of device. Now that she noticed most people here had something similar to those. AI looked at what she was looking and said, "That's the latest iPhone. Released just yesterday. Lucky lady. Stock was all out by the time I went to buy." The last part was grumbled out. An iPhone? Sakura asked, confused. It's a device used for communication and many other things. AI said, rolling his eyes. Kiba scoffed. I don't see what's so special. It's obviously like wireless communicators. Only those iPhone S are way bulkier and inconvenient. His opinion soon changed when she saw another man doing a video chat and some others taking selfies. They were all looking around amazed as tall skyscrapers came into view. This is the research and development zone. Aidrul. The Konoha ninja were again surprised. An entire part of the city was dedicated to research and development. Oh, you said something about Naruto's office. Why does he have an office? Isn't he a shinobi? Kakashi asked. No, he is not a shinobi. Didn't you know that? This surprised all of them. Did Naruto quit being a shinobi? Sasuke scoffed. So the dope quit because he finally understood that he won't be a good shinobi. The others thought that this was because Naruto didn't want to become any other shinobi than Konoha's. So, what does he do exactly? Sakura asked as she snapped out of her stunned state. Architecture, and many other things that you don't need to know. AI added inside his mind. They were led before a grand building that was built beautifully. It was more innovative and very beautiful. Ask at the reception and they will show you to his office. With that, AI vanished in a shunshin. They all stood there for a second. Well, come on, let's go see the dope. Wait, I think it would be better if Sakura goes first. Kakashi said. Sakura nodded. Yeah, after all, I am a Sakura-chan. Sakura said in a sing-song voice. They decided that Sakura will go and convince Naruto. Sakura changed from her shinobi clothes into a censored, wide black short dress and did a little makeup. It would be easier to convince the Baka that way. Add some waterworks, and he will be putty in Sakura's hands. With everything set, Sakura entered the building. She had to admit that Naruto was very skilled as an architect. The inside of the Builing gave of a serene yet bright atmosphere. Can I help you, miss? The man sitting at the reception asked. And Sakura had to wonder why every one of these villages was so damn hot. Yes, I want to meet Naruto Uzumaki, she said in a cute voice. Seduction was really Ino's field, but Sakura was not bad at it. Do you have an appointment? No. But I was sent here by the Onigich. I see. What is your name and visit for purpose? Well, my name is Sakura Haruno, and I am an old friend of Naruto. You are a Konoha ninja? The man asked suspiciously. Yes, she said quietly. I see, one moment. The man took a phone and dialed a number. Akira, there is a woman here to see Naruto-sama. She says Onigich-sama Center. Her name is Sakura Haruno and is a ninja from Konoha. All right. He put the receiver down and looked at Sakura again, only this time more coldly. The phone rang and the man took it. Okay, his office is on the 9th floor. His secretary will be waiting for you there. Sakura nodded and went to the 9th floor. My name is Akira, and I am Naruto-sama's personal secretary. He will be seeing you now. The woman had led her to an office. Sakura prepared herself. This was her moment to shine. Naruto was not what she expected. She didn't expect him to be so fucking gorgeous. Golden blonde hair that framed a handsome face. More tamed, but still kept short. His azure eyes more sharper and beautiful than she remembered. Surprisingly, the scars on his cheeks had vanished, but Sakura thought nothing of it. Strong, narrow jaws and soft-looking pink lips and that delicious tan. He was Adonis reincarnate. The suit he was wearing made her want to jump on him and ride him like no other. He looked so beautiful and ethereal, untouchable, but she kept her act together. She couldn't get horny and forget her mission. And just like that, with one word, she had him in her palms. That soft, kind smile he gave was enough permission for her. As she had him in her grasp, she could feel the well-defined body beneath that suit, and she had to disguise her moans into sobs. Naruto, kinda naive as always. Bought her trick like she wanted him to. Sakura, what are you doing here? Naruto asked in a hopeful voice. And Sakura knew exactly what he was hoping for. So she said with a bright smile and sparkling tears, "Why do you ask that, Yubaka? Of course I am here for you." And when his eyes brightened up like a child who got a Christmas present, she knew she had him hook, line, and sinker. "Really? Of course. We all missed you so much. And you can call me Sakura-chan, okay? No need to be afraid. How dare you call me Sakura-chan after you did that to Sasuke-kun? You monster." A voice reminded him exactly what she had said that day. I hate you, go and die. Nobody needs a demon like you. Do us all a favor and die." "You do? But I thought you hated me." The vulnerable tone, averted eyes, and he looked like a kicked puppy, a very adorable and censored "why puppy?" And it took all of her willpower not to kiss him senseless, although that would probably help the mission. "Oh, Naruto-kun, I was just angry that day. Angry and heartbroken. I was so stupid back then. I was hurt, and I took it all out on you, my poor baby. I really hurt you, didn't I? I am such an idiot." She sobbed again for effect. He became perplexed. Sakura knew Naruto could never become a good ninja, because after all he tried, he was just a naive idiot who had no idea how to hide his emotions. The only great thing about him was the power of the demon and maybe his newfound architectural skills. Once he gets back to Konoha, they could use his expertise in renovating their buildings. "Don't cry, Sakura-chan. I understand you." He hugged her tight, and God, it felt so good that she almost cried out and censored. "Naruto, we want you back." She reluctantly let go of him and looked at him pleadingly. "Want me back?" Surprise, confusion, hope, and happiness. She almost scoffed. It was so easy to read Naruto. "Yes!" She jumped up with an excited smile. "The banishment has been lifted. You can come back home now. You can come back to me." She added for good measure. But what about the council? The villagers? They all want you back, Naruto-kun." She blushed at the nickname she accidentally used. The pleasant blush that spread through his cheeks was rewarding enough. He stood up excited just like her, and that brilliant, idiotic grin she had seen years ago was back in his face. "That's great. I am so happy, Sakura-chan. Do you have the official documents with you? I have to make sure everything is perfect, And then I'll have to call my lawyer and finish all the paperwork. Oh God, there is so much to do. I am so happy, Sakura-chan. So happy." Even after all these years, his grin was still contagious. "Actually, Kakashi-sensei is here along with the rest of the rookies as well, guys, team, and all the senseis. He has the official documents about the banishment. Everyone's here? That's great. Oh, I can't meet them now. I have a meeting. Right now, actually. Wow, I really forgot the time. I am such a scatterbrain sometimes. More like always Yubaka." She retorted but made sure that her tone held no censored E. So he only grinned. "Well, I am still Naruto. Some things will never change, he said. She laughed. Akira. The moment he called, his PA came rushing in, but still held a ladylike grace that made Sakura slightly jealous. Not to mention that the woman was gorgeous. "Yes, Naruto-sama." Akira asked with a bow. "I want you to arrange accommodation for Sakura and the other ninjas from Konoha. Rent the rooms at Mirage, nothing less for my friends. And arrange some people to assist them in sightseeing and settling in. Call my lawyer and tell him to meet me in 5 hours here in my office. Also, Sakura or someone else will give you some documents, and I want those to be delivered to my office as well in 5 hours." "Okay. Yes, Naruto-sama. Thank you, Akira. And you can take the rest of the day off. You have been working so hard for the past few days, and from tomorrow onward we will have some added paperwork, so go to the spa and relax or something." Naruto added with a smile, which made Sakura even more jealous of the woman. He was always kind to his employees, and they loved him for it, because they knew that their boss always appreciate their hard work. "Thank you, Naruto-sama. You are too kind." With that, Akira left smiling. "Really, Naruto? You are too soft." Sakura scowled. But Naruto just smiled. "All my employees are hardworking people, Sakura. They deserve the appreciation. Now, Sakura-chan, I have a meeting, so go and see Akira outside, okay? She would have arranged your guides and room." "Okay, Naruto-kun," she said with a shy smile and left. As soon as she left the office, the door was locked. Naruto felt arms encircling him from behind, and he leaned into the muscular chest of his lover with a low growl. Why did you send that censored CH here? You are angry. That's why you let that wench touch you. To make me angry? Yes. Do you think otherwise I would touch that filth? Naruto censored Ed as his lover nipped at his neck. His lover let out an angry growl. You smell of that filth. In a swift moment, Naruto's expensive suit and every piece of cloth was ripped off his body and discarded in a pile at a corner. His lover F censored a hand, and the pile started burning. Avert your eyes if you must. A yaoi lime is coming up. Naruto was now lying on his glass table pinned by his lover. He censored when hands started roaming across his body. Kyoshiro, his lover, the Shodai Onigage as well as his ex-prisoner, Kayashiro Kurama, or better, yet the Shodai Kyuubi gazed at his squirming lover with smoldering orange eyes. I own you, Naruto. A hand grabbed Naruto's hair roughly and lips censored and sucked Ebi censored of skin. Naruto censored and cursed, you are mine. The delightful friction on their censored send them spiraling into censored, both of them censored. I won't allow such filth to lay their hands on what's mine. Hard censored at the censored on the juncture of Naruto's neck and shoulder that send Naruto over the edge. You are the only one I would let live after treating me like their damn property. Naruto growled out between pants and then censored, hard on the censored, that was on Kayashiro at the same place as Naruto's. Kayashiro came with a censored. Done. Naruto stood censored with a pout on his face. You burn my clothes, Kyo, and I don't have a spare. You were better looking like that, Kayashiro said, smirking while his eyes enjoyed the sight before him. An innocent and very dangerous smile appeared on Naruto's face. Really? Then I should probably meet my lawyer like this. After all, I need to be in my best appearance. Naruto said the last part with a low, husky tone and a very innocent, censored-y pose. Kayashiro growled. Even the thought of anyone seeing his mate like this would send him into a rage. He quickly unsealed another suit and handed it to Naruto. You had this all along. Naruto shook his head with a smile. It was Kayashiro's suit, but Naruto loved wearing his mate's clothes, so he didn't mind. Both of them were almost the same size, with Kayashiro only being an inch or two taller and little more bulkier muscles. So, what do you plan on doing? Kayashiro asked. I'll send my lawyer to Konoha. Once the banishment and that stupid restrictions they set for me is removed, everything will go according to plan. You know they will try to force you into becoming their ninja, right? And that's why I am sending Chris there. That guy is the best lawyer in Elemental Nations. He will finish everything perfectly. And besides, I am an official citizen of Demon Village. They cannot force me into doing anything. Everything will go according to plan, and we will get what we need from Konoha. So what do you think, Chris? Naruto asked as he leaned back in his executive chair. Christopher Tollins, Naruto's lawyer, as well as a longtime friend, looked over the documents. Everything's good. They have removed the banishment as well as the restrictions, and it's approved by the Fire Daimyo. So yeah, we're all set. Good. I don't want to waste such an opportunity. Sent the necessary petition to the Fire Daimyo. And if he disagrees with the terms, even after we provide the necessary details, tell him it will affect the Fire Country's budding relationship with Demon Country. I'm sure it won't come to that. Everything is legal and perfect. If he doesn't pass the petition, he will lose face. Any self-respecting Daimyo will agree. And I know that the Daimyo is a good person. That he is. That's why I want this to be quick. I want this petition passed before the Daimyo's fool of a grandson is made his successor. I have confirmed that the next Daimyo is secured tightly under Danzo's pocket. It will be done. I'll leave today itself. Good. Thanks, Chris. Hey, what are friends for? As Chris left, Naruto stood up to leave the office as well. At the reception, he met Josh, the receptionist. How's it going, boss? Josh asked with a wave. Good. So you free for a drink tonight? Sure. We'll meet at the Devil Palace at 10. I heard they had a new dancer there. Losh said with a giggle at the thought of the dancer. Sure, dude. Devil Palace it is. Oh, and invite the guys. Haven't seen them in a while. Sure thing, boss man. As he stepped outside, another one of his secretaries was waiting for him. Kazama Yoshii was a blonde man with blue-green eyes and was AI's cousin. Naruto-sama, we need your approval for testing the new car design. And someone was looking for your opinion on the latest design for the iPhone as well. He said that the developers came up with some amazing ideas. I'll send 2 clones with you, Yoshii. I have some personal matters that I need to attend at the moment. Alright, Naruto-sama. Naruto created 2 clones and sent them with Yoshiai. Oh, and Yash, we're meeting up at the Devil Palace at 10. Think you can make it? Sure, why not? Alright then, bye. Naruto vanished in a Shunshin. He appeared home. Despite being the owner of the Yuzu Enterprise, Naruto lived with Kayashiro in a very simple yet beautiful home. Yuzu Enterprise was the main industrial foundation of the Demon Country. They manufactured most of their electronics, motor vehicles, new technologies, computerized security, architecture, weapons manufacture. This was limited and well hidden, and a chain of restaurants and hospitals. Academies were all either owned or supported by the Yuzu Enterprise. And Naruto was the head of it all. I mean, the guy used a 10,000 shadow clone to learn anything and everything he desired. 2 months after his banishment, more like betrayal, Naruto found himself captured by the Akatsuki. Naruto had lost the will to fight, and he for the first time in his life just gave up. Kyuubi was roaring in his seal about how Naruto was a weak fool. Anyway, the Akatsuki extracted the Biju, but it didn't go like they planned. As they started extracting the Biju chakra, Naruto felt a surge of defiance. He couldn't just go down like this, but it was too late. So he did the only thing he could do. Went inside the seal and ripped it off. The demonic chakra that surged was beyond control, and Kyuubi was fighting for control, but Naruto persevered. Even with the Kyuubi, they had no chance of escaping as their chakra was lost as soon as it was released. Naruto somehow regained control and did what he thought was the most stupidest thing ever. But oh well, it worked out in the end. He gathered all the Biju chakra and promptly pushed it into the statue containing all other Bijus in one go. The result was explosive. The statue obliterated, taking some of the Akatsuki with it. When Naruto woke up next, he was being treated by a handsome red-headed dude who he had never met before. And that's how he met Kayashiro. Kayashiro was the Kyuubi, and during the explosion, all Biju lost their Biju chakra, which was what made them different from ordinary demons. Without it, they were just demons. And all the chakra from the Biju had entered Naruto, turning him into a Biju. But unlike other Bijus who had been driven mad by their power, Naruto's Uzumaki chakra, with a natural ability to suppress Biju chakra, made sure to purify the chakra in Naruto, and in the end Naruto became a Biju equal in power to the Jubi, with full control of his power. Naruto was then introduced to the rest of the Biju turned demon and the Akatsuki, or what remained of it. Itachi, Deidara, Nagato, and Konan was the only ones who survived. Naruto somehow convinced them to join him. The group of 14 became a team after that. They knew that achieving world peace was a fool's dream, but they could make a place where those who wanted peace could live freely, and that's how Demon Country came into existence. For months after the Akatsuki ended, they had traveled the world. Along the way, they found many clans, civilians, and shinobi who wanted to escape the fights. The group of 14 inadvertently became known as the Guardians of Peace by helping those who needed it. Demon Country was created with much difficulty, but in the end they did it. It took 2 long years of hard work, but in the end they all created a home for those who wanted peace. Every citizen in Demon Country was told about the demons who lived within the country before they joined, so if they had any problems they were free to go. Each citizen had a seal on them that kept track of them, and if they somehow found themselves in a sticky situation outside the village, they could activate the seal and transport themselves and one passenger back to the village. It sort of worked like a one-way Eurasian seal. Spring, Wave Tea, Rice Countries, and Sand Village became their allies. Of course, Naruto knew each of the leaders personally. The Demon Country daimyo was Uzumaki Hibara, a 60-year-old pure-blooded Uzumaki female they found during their travels. They had found many remaining Uzumakis who had come with them. They had never planned on making Demon Country into a shinobi village, but they needed a defense force and income. So instead, they created the Guardian Force, a sort of police force. All of them had ninja training and ensured law. They also take missions like bodyguard missions, carrier missions, and such, but strictly avoided assassination and such missions. Itachi was the head of the Guardian Force. Naruto was chosen at first, but he refused, saying that he wanted to study instead. The next 4 years Naruto spent studying architecture from Tizuna, technology from the scientists at Spring Country, sealing and Kenjutsu from the Uzumakis, medical ninjutsu from the Kazama clan, a clan that was known for their healing abilities, demon techniques from the 9 Biju, Senjutsu from another clan called Yamakaze. With the help of shadow clones, Naruto had mastered each of them in 4 years. It also helped that he had unlimited chakra and his brain activity was increased exponentially by the Biju chakra. The 5th year was the birth of the Yuzu Enterprise, with Naruto as its head. All this time, Konoha had suffered, but Naruto didn't really hold a grudge. That changed when found out a particular piece of information. When they had banished him, they said that if he ever put foot inside the Fire Country, he would be executed. Everything he owned in Konoha was to be liquidated and added to the village funds. At the time, he didn't understand the need of such a rule. After all, the only thing he owned was the shabby apartment. He only understood their ploy 2 years later, when one of his spies informed him about the Uzumaki clan funds. As the last Uzumaki, the fund was supposed to be given to him once he reached an age of 18, but he never got the chance, and they made sure of that. The clan funds was added to their pockets. Also, the council found out about his Namikaze heritage. It was Itachi who informed him about his parents, and so they took the Namikaze clan funds as well. The money was not the problem, but the fact that they did it. Naruto was livid. Then he found out how Jiraiya had taught Sasuke the Rasengan. What right did that bastard have to learn Naruto's father's original jutsu? That day he decided Konoha will pay. The irony was that it was Kayashiro who calmed Naruto down. The Kyuubi no Kitsune had to calm his ex-jailer from leveling the village. In the end, Naruto decided that Konoha was not worth it. And somewhere along the way, Naruto fell in love with Kayashiro. The next 5 years was the rise of the Demon Country. And now Konoha wanted Naruto. Naruto would have left them alone, but now that they came for him, the one thing that came to his mind was that it was Konoha's fate. Well, everything went okay, Asuma said with a sigh. They had been half expecting Naruto to kick them out. Yeah, he is still a naive idiot, Sakura said. Dope, but we have to admit, Naruto is some big deal here. I mean, look at what all he could. Apparently this Hotel Mirage is the best tourist hotel in the village. You need exclusive permission to get a room here. And he managed to get us each a room, Ino said in amazement. Yeah, I remember the Onigage saying something like Naruto was very respected here. Kurenai said, but he's just an architect, Sakura scoffed. Not just any architect, Sakura. I asked the hotel staff. Apparently the entire hotel is Naruto's creation, Tenten said. You gotta be kidding me. Ino said, yeah, he designed this amazing place, Sakura said in amazement. Yeah, but he is still just a dope, Kiba said with a scoff. Actually, Inuzuka, Naruto-san, is often requested by high-ranking officials from many countries to design their homes, including palaces for daimyos. Whoa, Kiba gasped when Niji said that. He must make a fortune out of this then. Ino wondered. He does, Shikamaru answered lazily. It would be beneficial to have him in our ranks. Kurenai said. When will the dough come? Does he plan on keeping us waiting? Kiba growled. Their guides had informed them that Naruto will be coming here to have dinner with them. And now they were waiting for him in this grand room. Right then the large double doors opened and Naruto entered, flanked by guards on either side. Everyone except Sakura felt their jaws drop. That censored god was Naruto. Hey guys. Naruto greeted with a nervous grin and removed his sunglasses to give them a view of the sapphires he called eyes. Naruto, they all chorused in surprise. Sakura jumped out of her seat and went to hug him, but the guards stopped her. I am his friend. She glared at the guards. Sakura, just let it be, Naruto said softly. He then sat down at the table with all of them, the guards still standing on each side. Kakashi gave a hard stare at the guards. So, Naruto trailed nervously. Hey Naruto, how's it going? Kakashi said with a nice smile. And he saw Naruto relax with a sigh. Maybe he had been expecting them to be angry or something. They conversed while they ate. Hey Naruto, I saw some ninjas from other villages here. Is there some kind of function going on? Tenten asked. Naruto looked confused. Oh, that. You don't know about the scholarships. The what? They asked confused. You see, we have academies here in Demon Country. Academies for architecture, medical training, combat training, electronics, mechanics, and such. Everyone's eyes widened. And you teach them to people from other villages? Why? They could use it against you. Well, it's really to encourage interaction between people from other villages. Every year exams are held in each villages. The top 10 students from each exam are allowed to learn at an academy. Each academy takes in 100 students each year. 40 students are from our village, the rest from foreign villages. It doesn't matter if the student is a ninja or not. That's stupid. Your village could be at risk. Why? Why would they attack us when we are willing to share our knowledge and facilities with them? They know that we have no intention of ever becoming a ninja village, so attacking us will only serve to destroy a village that is beneficial to them. So in exchange for the knowledge we share, they give us protection. They all looked at Naruto dumbfounded, and it's not like we don't have any defenses. Our Guardian Force is there for law enforcement. Guardian Forces. Yeah, I've heard of them. They're just ninjas who don't kill. Kiba scoffed. We are a peaceful village, Kiba. Killing will only be problematic. It is not that they can't kill, but that they don't want to. Naruto shrugged. They resumed their dinner. Naruto was well aware of how Sasuke was ogling him. He could already imagine what was going through the man's mind. Naruto-sama, you have a meeting in half an hour, one of the guards said. Oh, it's already 9:30. I am sorry, guys, I have a meeting to attend to. So when will you be leaving? Who are you meeting, dope? Sasuke asked, annoyed. Feeling possessive bastard? Oh, I have to meet some dignitaries from another village. Not really, I'm just gonna get drunk and have an amazing night. HN, will you guys be leaving soon? Naruto asked. They looked confused at this. Yeah, tomorrow. We need to go back to the village. But aren't you coming with us? No. I have some documents that need to be finalized before coming to Konoha. You know, paperwork about the banishment and such. I have to finalize it with the Demon Country Daimyo and the Fire Country Daimyo. He finished with his censored. They all chuckled at his expression. A certain someone censored his lips in anticipation. Once the dope comes back to Konoha, he'll make sure that Naruto will be his. Good to have you back, Naruto. Naruto just smiled and left the dining room. It's done? Good. Tell the people to start mining as soon as possible. Be as discreet as possible. Naruto smiled indulgently. Chris chuckled. I will transfer the ownership of the properties into your name tomorrow, just in case they decide to complicate things. All right. And what about the other properties? All done. It was easy to convince the daimyo, especially when his wife was vehemently against disappointing you. Naruto chuckled. Konoha just lost the treasures they didn't even knew they had all along. Chris chuckled as well. Yes, it is. Here are the documents. Will you be going there? Yes. After all, I want to see what became of my dear, sweet village. Naruto walked away from Chris with a smirk. In Konoha sometime later. Hey guys, Naruto is here. Sakura and Sasuke paused from their spar to look at Ino, who had yelled out. Really? He didn't send any message. Sakura said, surprised. They had expected him to at least inform them. Maybe he planned a surprise. Kakashi said, yeah, that's probably it. Come on, Sasuke-kun. Let's go meet the Baka. The villagers stared. Could anyone blame them? I mean, walking in front of them was the same boy they had kicked out of their village. Only difference was that now the boy had grown into what can only be called an Adonis, and the villagers knew that they needed the boy's help. It has been 1 week after the announcement that Naruto will be coming back to the village. The villagers had protested at first, but the Hokage and the council, even the ones who had actively participated in banishing Naruto, had given a speech on how badly they needed Naruto. So the villagers grudgingly had to agree. Naruto-kun. Sakura exclaimed in surprise. It seemed like Naruto gets more and more beautiful every time she sees him. There he stood and flanked by his loyal bodyguards on each side. Hey! Naruto waved, not that much enthusiastic. Sakura frowned, but ignored it, thinking that he was just tired from the journey or something. He was wearing gray V-neck underneath a black tuxedo jacket, left open, along with relaxed blue jeans and black sneakers. She moved forward to hug him, while Sasuke stood ogling the beautiful man. But before she could, the bodyguards stepped in front, stopping her from even touching their lord. After all, Kayashiro had specifically instructed not to let any Konoha scum touch his mate. Sakura growled at the guards, so did Sasuke. But imagine their surprise when Naruto only smirked at them and not made any move to make the guards move. So, is the Hokage Tower still where I remember? I want to get all of this out of my way as soon as possible. Naruto said, bored. Sakura was confused by the change in behavior, but ignored it in favor of leading the blonde to the tower. Naruto Uzumaki, you have been summoned by the council, spoke the Umbu who appeared in front of the blonde. Naruto smirked, thinking of what will follow. Naruto stood outside the council chambers of Konoha. As soon as news reached that he had returned, the council summoned him for a meeting. As the council called for Naruto to enter, Naruto entered with his head kept high and a neutral expression, his trusted bodyguards close behind. He was disgusted seeing the many lustful and greedy looks from most of the civilian and some of the shinobi council, but he managed to keep the disgust out of his expression and voice. "Welcome back, Naruto." Naruto turned to look at Tsunade, who had a smile on her face. Seriously? She was a shinobi. She should have known that he won't remain that naive fool after all they had done to him. But he supposed she also believed the lies he spewed at Sakura. How foolish of them! His reply to the warm welcome was a simple nod with a blank face. Some of the council, especially the Honorable Hokage, was surprised by the lack of emotion he had shown. As far as they knew, he was happy to be back in Konoha, but they ignored it as him being nervous and trying to hide it. There was a long, drawn, awkward pause with the council, now being a little confused on what to say to the beautiful youth that looked emotionless except for the boredom he occasionally showed. It was Danzo who started. "So Uzumaki-san, now that you are back, we will integrate you back into the Konoha Shinobi roster as soon as possible, and you can start your training to get back into shape. You do not need to worry about your companies as the council will be taking over as the head of them and will be managing them for you." Naruto almost rolled his eyes. How greedy can they get? But he merely lifted an eyebrow at the suggestion. "You can do that?" The mild amusement must have thrown them off because they looked surprised. Danzo narrowed his eyes. "Of course, now that you are a part of Konoha Dash." "I'm a part of Konoha? Since when?" This time his amusement was clear to even the most oblivious of them. "Naruto, your lawyer has all the paperwork completed," Tsunade said, confused. "Really now? Why did they ever make you the Hokage?" Naruto shook his head, disappointed. Tsunade was surprised and hurt. "What are you, Dash?" "Hokage-sama." He neatly cut her off mid-speech. "My lawyer only processed the papers that removed my ban on entering the Fire Country and the one against me owning any properties on the Fire Country. I believe he never processed any papers regarding the reinstatement of my Konoha citizenship or my integration back into your shinobi troops." Tsunade was wide-eyed for a moment, but then smiled. This caused Naruto to raise an eyebrow in question. "Oh, Naruto, you and your pranks." Tsunade chuckled, and the whole council followed suit, thinking this a prank from the notorious prankster. Naruto could only suppress a sigh at their stupid ignorance. Then Tsunade continued. "Your lawyer had told me that the papers for your integration back into Konoha could only be finished once you were here and had the approval of your current daimyo, which is the daimyo of the Demon Country. I assume you have the papers with you now, so give them to me and I'll sign them off." Your prank did catch me off guard. Naruto's only reaction was to look at the woman like she had lost her mind. He again said, "Why did they ever make you the Hokage?" "I have no papers with me, and I have no intention of joining Konoha." Then he smirked at the wide-eyed council. "Naruto, the prank's over now. Give me the papers," Tsunade said seriously. This time it was Naruto who chuckled. He was thoroughly amused by the foolish humans. It took a while for the council members to figure out that Naruto was indeed not pranking them. "Why did you come back if you had no intention of staying?" a teary-eyed Hokage asked. "A good question," Naruto said, but didn't answer her. "Well, answer me," Tsunade yelled. Naruto stood unfazed by the rage of the legendary Sannin. Even his bodyguards didn't bat an eyelash at what was the most frightening situation to the rest of the council. Even Danzo was slightly shaken by the monstrous-looking woman. The bodyguards knew well that their master had no need for protection. The simple act of having bodyguards made others underestimate Naruto. Their only job was to do the jobs that they found beneath Naruto, which included most jobs as according everyone in Demon Country. Naruto was a divine being, and most things were beneath him, and no matter how much Naruto protested, that wouldn't change. "Why should I?" Naruto asked, amused. "You are not my Kage, nor are you my daimyo, so why should I? You're not even someone I care or respect even slightly about." Tsunade took a step back, shocked. The Hokage's chair clattered to the ground as she bumped into it. The council was very much nervous, and some were outright angered by the disrespect shown by the demon to the Hokage. "Show us respect, you demon," an outraged council member shouted. "Demon? On what basis do you call me a demon?" Naruto asked, very amused. Naruto's amusement was really starting to be annoying to the council. "We all know about the Kyuubi," a jealous councilwoman sneered, "so don't try to fool us. And that is the only reason we bought you back. because the only thing you're good at is being a weapon." And Naruto laughed. It was a sweet, melodious sound, even when it was mocking. "I own the biggest company in the entire Elemental Nations. I'm the most sought-after architect in the Elemental Nations, not to mention the most popular designer. Who do you all think the famed Golden Fox is? And you say all I am good at is being a demon." Naruto really enjoyed the surprise and disbelief. He was careful not to reveal his other professions like his achievements in nanotech or pharmaceuticals. Konoha might start a war just to destroy him, if they know. So even though he enjoyed putting them back in their place, he toned it down. And as for the council, utter disbelief was what happened. No way that the Black Rose, which was termed the biggest company in Elemental Nations, belonged to the demon. No way that he was the Golden Fox, the designer with such high talents that the royalties fought over him. There was just no way. But they couldn't ignore the obvious clues, like how Black Rose never opened any of their branches in Fire Country, because if they did, anything that belonged to Naruto would have been confiscated by the council. And never had the Golden Fox boutiques ever opened in Konoha when there was many boutiques in every other nation. They had already known about the architect part, and it took them a very long time to believe that. "There is no way. You are lying, demon." The same councilwoman screeched in a way similar to the pink-haired monstrosity. Come to think of it, she had that particular shade of green eyes as well. But Naruto didn't care. "Suit yourself." Naruto shrugged. "Oh, and just so you know, I'm not a Jinchuriki anymore either." "What?" Naruto shrugged once more. "The Akatsuki extracted him. But you would have died during the extraction." Tsunade was shocked. "I am an Uzumaki," he said. That made a lot of sense to Tsunade and some of the Shinobi Council, but really didn't make any sense to the Civilian Council, and Naruto really didn't care to elaborate. "Why does you being an Uzumaki have anything to do with it?" A clueless council member asked, and Naruto didn't even acknowledge the question. "So the Akatsuki have all the demons?" Tsunade asked, terrified. "No." Naruto sighed. He was really getting tired of the whole ordeal. He just wanted to get out of Konoha once he had done what he needed to and got what he wanted. Konoha was getting to him. There was something squirming in the back of his mind, and he had a feeling that he would have to have a chat with a certain someone in the near future. It was like a storm was brewing in his mindscape. They couldn't contain all 9 demons, and the statue used to contain them exploded, and they died. "I got saved by my lover, and now I live happily with him. End of story. I am leaving." With that, Naruto left the stunned council to process what he had just said. The council had a lot of questions, surprisingly, or perhaps not. The main question among the male members was who the lucky man who snagged the beautiful youth was. The females were equally disappointed that he was taken, by a man to no less. They more than hoped that he was bi and not gay, or just experimenting. Either would do. Tsunade was the one who asked the question that everyone forgot. Was he telling the truth? Most of them had the decency to look sheepish at having forgotten to think of that during their plans to somehow make the blonde there. He was, Hayashi Hyuga said. "I checked his chakra coil. He had no Biju chakra at all. And he wasn't lying. There were no fluctuations in his chakra coil as he spoke." Unbeknownst to them, Naruto long since attained the ability to fool the Byakugan and any human experts in deception. That was the reason that the Byakugan only saw a small part of his normal blue human chakra and not the 10 tails of golden chakra he got after becoming the Jubi. "I also checked, he wasn't lying about anything. Even more proof, his whisker marks are gone." Inoichi Yamanaka, the interrogation expert, said. The council was stunned that the most powerful man in Elemental Nations, money and influence-wise, had just slipped out of their grasps just like that. Not like they had any chance to make him stay from the beginning. Now they understood why the Fire Daimyo had been eager to remove Naruto's banishment. After all, he too had a wife who was a fan of the Golden Fox, and the Daimyo himself had been trying to get Naruto to build him a new mansion for a while now, and had been probably denied because Naruto couldn't enter the Fire Country. That was no longer the case. Troublesome, Shikaka said, and the whole council agreed. Naruto sat in the small restaurant idly, sipping his black coffee. The restaurant was owned by a man who had been a part of the mob that had beaten Naruto when he was younger more than once. Now Naruto was sitting there enjoying watching the man fidgeting before him. News was yet to leak out about Naruto's decision at the council chamber to leave Konoha. So even now the civilians were trying their hardest to get into the blonde's favor so that he would stay in Konoha. Naruto hummed inaudibly. The coffee was okay, but it paled in comparison to the one Kayashiro made. or even the one Akira made. Anything else, sir? The young woman in a maid costume asked with a sultry smile and bent down to show more than necessary cleavage. Naruto simply stared at the woman, a stare which unnerved her. The woman fidgeted under his gaze, and his glare intensified. The woman took a step back in fright, wondering if he would attack her. Add some concentrated Ki to the mix, and the woman ran for the hill, causing Naruto to chuckle amused. His guards were astonished at his actions. Although they perfectly understood his reasons for hating every single Konoha in a censored ant, but this was the first time they or anyone in the Demon Country had seen this almost sadistic side of Naruto. Because to them, Naruto was the kind young lord who always protected them and had a solution to all their problems. They couldn't help but shake their heads in amusement as well. Being Naruto's personal bodyguards, whenever Naruto left the Demon Country, they were close enough to know of Naruto's past and decisions. They knew that Naruto had chosen to forget his revenge on Konoha and move on. But now, Konoha themselves tried to insert back into his life and had ignited the fire that Naruto had vanquished long ago. So now Konoha had made an enemy that is unbeatable. Naruto stood up with a sigh, his coffee no longer interesting. He could feel an annoying presence approaching, no doubt, in order to question him about his words to the council. He thought about going the other way to avoid confrontation, but then again, he had nothing else to do and was bored, so maybe it would be good entertainment. He took some money out of his wallet and left it on the table. Oh no, Naruto-san, the coffee is on the house. After all, you have returned home after so long. The manager, the very same man who enjoyed beating him when he was younger, said with a smile. It always amazed Naruto how ignorant humans can be, especially people from Konoha. Maybe the excessive yokai during the Kyuubi attack had eroded their brain capacity or something. How did they even expect him to want to stay one moment in this village that was the embodiment of the torture he endured over the years? You think I don't remember you? Naruto asked quietly, making the manager panic. The manager had hoped that the boy had forgotten what he had done. I don't know why dash. Naruto didn't let the stuttering man finish. I remember everything you did. Everything all of you did to me. Keep in mind, I hold no love for this village or anyone in this village, and I don't plan on staying in this disgusting village. Naruto's cold words were clear to everyone in the restaurant, and they gaped at the boy's audacity. How dare the demon? After all they had done to make him feel better, the manager's smile turned into a sneer, and he was about to retort very angrily when an angry and distressed Uchiha burst, literally, since he broke down the doors in his hurry, into the restaurant. Sasuke Uchiha was very distraught. The Akatsuki was gone. His brother was dead. His revenge was meaningless. All these years' worth of hard work to him, that is. After all he ever did was copy what he thought was necessary with his cursed eyes wasted. Now he won't even get his brother's eyes, which he needed to be able to use the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. All because of the dope. Well, it was not exactly the blonde's fault. Even Sasuke knew that. But Sasuke was angry and he needed to vent, and Naruto just happened to be available. The people in the restaurant looked at the Uchiha bewildered and then bowed in respect, entirely dismissing the fact that he just broke the door down. Except the manager, who tried to figure a way to blame this on the demon so that he could get some money in the name of repercussions. Dope, is it true that dash? All Sasuke remembered was going to the blonde in order to grab him by the neck so that he could get some answers. The next thing he knew, he was getting acquainted with the tiled floor, which cracked as his face met with it. The onlookers were surprised seeing their precious Uchiha get slammed to the ground like an amateur by one of the blonde's bodyguards, while the other stood protectively in front of the blonde. The others were feeling very grateful that they hadn't attempted the same thing earlier, even if they felt like teaching the blonde a lesson. Sasuke glared at the black-suited man, looking down at him from his black sunglasses. His Sharingan flared to life, and to his utter surprise, it flared out just as quickly. Unknown to him, the guard was using a medical technique to cut his chakra flow to his eyes, thus deactivating the Sharingan. The guard was yet to let go of the downed Uchiha's neck. Throughout all this, Naruto stood there with an amused smirk. Sasuke, the pink-haired banshee, entered and screamed, seeing the Uchiha on the ground. She was followed by Kakashi and Sai. "Release him this instant!" Sakura screamed, her hands glowing with green chakra. as she got ready to pound the guard who dared harm Sasuke. The guard didn't move. Kakashi stepped forward with his single eye narrowed. "Release Sasuke at once, or you will be arrested for violence against a Konoha shinobi," he said with authority. This meant nothing to the guard. A soft chuckle cracked the tension that was permeating the restaurant. "Let the Uchiha go, Kirin," Naruto softly said to the black-haired bodyguard. Kirin, as the guard was now known, released the Uchiha instantly and was by Naruto's side with his red-haired counterpart. Sasuke stood up and glared and turned on his Sharingan, which activated much to his relief. "Ray, Kirin, we are leaving," Naruto said, ignoring the shinobi who were staring at him. Ray, the red-haired bodyguard, and Kirin, the black-haired bodyguard, silently followed their leader as he was about to walk out the door, in front of which the shinobi was standing. As Naruto was about to pass by her, Sakura made to grab his hand. This interpreted by Ray. Sakura glared at the guard. She used her super strength to try and force the guard to let her go, but she failed miserably. It seems that the redhead had a level of chakra control that surpassed even Tsunade, and using his chakra perfectly, he negated her super strength easily. Without it, she was not really that strong. Naruto was still amused. Kakashi could see this, and he narrowed his eyes at the blonde. Naruto looked at him and smirked. "Naruto," Kakashi began, "you have really changed." Naruto only raised his eyebrow, not really feeling like giving a verbal answer. "Is it true?" Naruto looked at the Uchiha, who asked the question. "Is it true that my brother is dead?" "Your brother? Oh, you mean Itachi? You two are so different that I rarely think of him as your brother anymore. And no, he's not dead," Naruto answered casually. Sasuke's eyes widened. "But you said that the Akatsuki died extracting the Kyuubi from you," Kakashi said, remembering what the blonde said at the council meeting. The civilians all gasped. The blonde no longer had the demon? "The organization known as Akatsuki is dead," Naruto answered. "Where is he? Tell me where Itachi is." Sasuke roared, but he didn't dare attack Naruto again. Naruto scoffed. "Why should I? I hold no obligations to you or anyone in this pathetic village." Sasuke was livid. Oh, Naruto was going to pay once he became Sasuke's. According to Sasuke's observations, he still had a chance with the blonde. Naruto shook his head, exasperated. "We're leaving." "No." Sasuke censored out. Naruto didn't even acknowledge him. "Fight me," Sasuke said again. Ray and Kirin tensed, expecting the Uchiha to attack their lord again. Naruto, however, was bored and wasn't even acknowledging Sasuke. "Are you scared, dope?" Sasuke taunted, hoping for a reaction. He was sorely disappointed when he got none. In his anger, his chakra swirled in his palm, and the Rasengan was spinning within his arms. Naruto, who wasn't really interested in thrashing the fool, now anyway, since he had to meet with one of his subordinates, stopped cold when he heard the sound of the familiar jutsu. "Fine," the quiet answer startled Sasuke, and his Rasengan dissipated. He gave the Dobe a smug look. "Are you angry that I learned one of your strongest techniques, Dobe?" Sasuke smirked. "Oh, more that you can imagine, Uchiha. More that you can imagine," Naruto whispered. "Ray, informed Tsubasa to reschedule our meeting to tonight at 8. Ray nodded and vanished like the wind. The onlookers were amazed by the Shunshin that left no trace, not even a detectable chakra signature. Sakura looked at Naruto. His anger was going to be his downfall, she thought. She vanished to inform the council about this recent turn of events. Maybe they could somehow twist this in their favor. Naruto saw her leaving and had a pretty good idea where she had gone to. So I was missing as well, most likely gone to Danzo. "Meet me at Training Ground 7 when you're ready," Sasuke said. "I am ready." Sasuke stared at the blonde's attire, which was definitely not suited for a shinobi battle. Yet if the Dobe didn't care, why should he? So Sasuke nodded, and both moved to the training ground. It came as no surprise to Naruto that there was a crowd already waiting for them at Training Ground 7. Naruto ignored the teary-eyed Hokage. A solemn Jiraiya stood next to her. The rest of the council was there as well. His eyes met that of one of his most precious person, not any longer. At least Naruto liked to think so. Yumino Iruka stood staring at the blonde, with guilt-ridden eyes. Naruto stared at the man impassively, and the man met Naruto's blue eyes dead on. There were tears, dark bags under dull chocolate eyes, and Naruto could see a soul that reeked of pain and guilt. Then there was joy. The happiness in the man surprised Naruto. Why was he happy? This made Naruto angry. There was only one person in Konoha that Naruto hated and loved, and it was Iruka. Others he was indifferent about. It was Iruka's betrayal that had hurt the blonde the worst. Because Iruka knew him since he was young, knew him long before Tsunade or Jiraiya or Kakashi, understood him more than his so-called comrades at that time. He had a bond with Iruka that almost as deep as the one he had with the Sandaime, and Iruka shattered it with a few choice words. Thinking back on it, Iruka never did as much as others did. Naruto didn't even remember seeing him on the days of his banishment. But Iruka had hurt him more than any other could. Naruto snapped his gaze back to Sasuke, who was scowling at the sight of the crowd. Even looking at Iruka brought a stab of pain to his chest. This was the reason he had studiously avoided any news on Iruka over the years. The Uchiha was hoping to get a chance to get intimate with the blonde after he had defeated him. That had become impossible with the crowd present. Sasuke growled angrily. Naruto rolled his eyes at the Uchiha. "Shall we?" Naruto questioned with a nonchalant air. This managed to successfully piss Sasuke off. His superiority complex not really liking how the blonde wasn't afraid of him. "Uzumaki Naruto." Tsunade's voice sounded from a few feet ahead. Naruto fixed her with a bored gaze. Tsunade was still a mess, but she desperately held on to composure. "I, as the Hokage of Konohagakure and the Honorable Council, have come to a decision." Naruto raised an eyebrow, thinking on what twisted plan the council cooked up now. Danzo Shimura stepped forward. "We have already read through your request to gain you clan inheritance." Both of them. Naruto scoffed at the request part. "It is no request, Danzo. It is a certified order from the daimyo. You wish to make changes in that?" Naruto smirked. Danzo ignored the blonde's words. "We cannot approve of it. In case you didn't notice, Danzo, you or your council's approval means nothing to me or the daimyo." Danzo glared at the blonde. "However, we plan on arriving at a compromise." "Oh, and what would that be?" Naruto asked mockingly. "This will be considered as an official match for the inheritance of the Namikaze and Uzumaki clans." Naruto remained calm. The civilians and some shinobi that were present gasped at the name Namikaze. "My clan inheritance is my right, Danzo. None of you have the power to deny me my right. However, if this helps things go smoothly, then I will do it." The council smirked. "The blonde will definitely lose to the Uchiha. Since you agree, the other terms shall be revealed." Danzo hid a smirk as he looked at the blonde. "Other terms, Danzo?" Naruto asked. He was entirely amused with the old crone. "Yes, you will be fighting the entire previous Rookie 9 and previous Team 11 for your clan rights." Naruto's eyes widened. The council members were thinking that he was scared, and they smirked in victory. Naruto, however, was thinking something entirely different. "Oh my, I was waiting for a chance to get even with them, and they give it right to me. How lovely! And if you fail, you will belong to Konoha, and all your properties, including the ones in other countries, will be taken over by the council. You will work for us after that." "Interesting. You're all greedy as ever I see," Naruto said, not really concerned. Sasuke was smirking to himself. With the power he had on the council, forcing the blonde to marry him after that would be piece of cake. And he can get the current husband of the blonde killed. "I agree." Naruto smirked, surprising all of them. But most of them pushed it aside, as the blonde being overconfident. Then Naruto continued, "But I have some conditions of my own." "They are?" Danzo asked. "Add Tsunade, Jiraiya, and the 4 Jonin Sensei to the group I am fighting." Many gasps were heard at that. Some began getting suspicious, but they all believed that the blonde had no chance of winning. And Naruto continued, "When I win, I will be taking everything owned by the Namikaze and Uzumaki with me back to Demon Country, and there should be no protest against that." Naruto observed the disbelieving and angered looks when he said it like that he was sure of his victory. "One more condition. Any property I own in Konoha will be outside the jurisdiction of the Hokage or the council after that. I can do whatever I want with them, even build a summer camp for IWA Shinobi, and you will do nothing about it." The confidence that Naruto was leaking had set them unease. But it was they were the ones that started this, so backing down was out of the option. "You're being arrogant, Uzumaki," Danzo warned. "Oh, the entire deal seems one-sided, doesn't it? So it is only right that I get something more out of this. Or do you fear that I would be able to defeat all of your so-called elites?" Naruto asked in mock concern. "We agree." Some of the council members shouted, fully believing that the blonde will fail. Tsunade nodded her consent as well. Danzo, despite his suspicions, were outnumbered and therefore had no chance of stopping this. Naruto smirked. Everything was handed to him in a metaphorical silver platter. "The fight will be on Dash." Naruto cut Danzo off before he could finish. "Oh no, no, no. You think I would fight you just trusting your word that you will do all this if I win?" Naruto scoffed. "I want all of this in an official document, and it will be sent to the Fire and Demon Daimyo. The fight will only take place if, and only if, both daimyo approve, and only in either their own or their representatives' presence. I will never ever do the mistake of trusting Konoha again," Naruto said with a smirk. Danzo now knew that the blonde had something planned. If the blonde had any doubt he wouldn't win, he wouldn't have asked for the presence and permission of the daimyos. This way, both parties couldn't back out of the terms of the fight. "I will have my lawyer arrive this evening. He will prepare the contract, and once the Hokage approves, it will be delivered to the daimyo. The fight will have to be postponed till everything is ready. Now I have other business to attend to." Naruto walked away with Kirin and Rei, whose presence was a shocker to everyone since no one noticed his arrival. The stunned crowd stood there murmuring among themselves. Most were sure about the outcome of the fight. Only a few felt uneasy with what was happening. One Yumino Iruka smiled at the retreating back of his ex-student. He had a feeling that Konoha had just dug its own grave, and he was more than satisfied to know that Naruto would be the one to bring down Konoha. "Konoha deserves anything you give her, Naruto. It's time we pay for our crimes." Iruka walked away, smiling softly in a very long time. "Dig the grave deeper. Naruto-sama, Tsubasa has arrived," Rei informed Naruto, bowing. Naruto hummed, idly swirling his drink. "Send him in," he replied. Rei vanished from sight. A man who looked to be in his early 40s walked in. He had light brown hair and dark gray eyes. "Naruto-sama," the man greeted, bowing. Naruto nodded with a slight smile. "How are things going, Tsubasa?" "Everything is going according to the plan, Naruto-sama. All the properties you wanted are now under my name. We can transfer it to your name as soon you want it. And our spies have located Orochimaru's lab as well." "I'm good." Naruto sighed. "That means I can get out of here as soon as possible." Tsubasa chuckled. "You need not have come at all. We had everything under control." Naruto shrugged. "I wanted to pay my dear old friends a visit." Tsubasa turned serious. "The upcoming match between you and those Konoha ninjas have created quite an uproar. Most people are sure that you will lose." Naruto snorted. "That's what I am counting on. As long as they believe they'll win, they'll agree to whatever ridiculous terms I come up with." Tsubasa hummed in agreement. Konoha had no idea what they're getting into. "But I believe you let them off easily?" Tsubasa asked Naruto. Naruto chuckled. "No, you're wrong there. The hooks haven't even taken hold yet. They'll lose a lot more than just their reputation, Tsubasa. I will make sure of it." Naruto smirked, slightly sadistic. "I'll leave Konoha scarred and battered on her knees." Tsubasa chuckled, hearing his boss. Konoha truly had no idea what's coming. In Demon Country, Konoha is as greedy as ever. Kaishiro chuckled, reading the message sent by Konoha. A woman with graying red hair and wise purple eyes pursed her lips in distaste. "Those fools have no right to demand anything of my grandchild. Yet they do this." Kaishiro smirked. "Well, they only dug a deeper hole for themselves. Oh, and I'm going to make it much deeper, that they'll never crawl out of it." The woman growled. "Kaishiro-chan, prepare for a journey. We are going to meet the Fire Daimyo. Uzumaki Hibara, the mother of Uzumaki Kushina, grandmother to Uzumaki Naruto, and for the last few years, the daimyo of Demon Country," stood up and left the room. Her royal blue kimono fluttered as strode out of the room, eyes glowing with the fury of a mother. Kaishiro followed, smirking. Poor Konoha, these two Uzumaki will be their end. That night at Fire Country capital, the Fire Daimyo, Kasayama Hizaki trembled with barely concealed fury as he reads through the message from Konoha. Not only have those fools shown the audacity to go against a direct order from him, they also let their greed consume them and almost made an enemy out of Demon Country. His eyes met that of the other daimyo. "What do you propose we do, Ibaradano?" The Fire Daimyo questioned. My grandson has already agreed to the match. All it needs seems to be our permission." The Fire Daimyo nodded, gravely. He didn't understand why the boy would agree to such a match. "But I believe that the match is quite unfair." Hibara said, "That it is Hibara Dano, your grandson, against all of them dash." He was cut off by a soft laugh from Hibara. "Oh, that's not what I was implying, Hizaki Dano. I meant it is unfair in terms of the reward. Don't you think so?" The fire daimyo sat confused. The woman didn't mind her grandson being set up for a match against all of Konoha's strongest shinobi. Was she more worried about the prize? She seemed awfully confident in her grandchild. Hizaki nodded anyway. "Yes, it is rather unfair when you think about it. Should he win the match, the only thing my grandchild earns is what already belongs to him. But if Konoha wins, they receive everything my grandchild has ever worked for. It will leave Demon Country crippled as Naruto-chan owns a vast majority of our economy." Hizaki nodded. Seeing this, Hibara continued, "It would only be fair that the risks should be equal for both parties involved." Hizaki had his really bad feeling that this would only end badly for Konoha, but they disagreed with his direct order, and they had it coming for some time now. "So what do you think should be done, Hibara Dano?" Hizaki asked seriously. Hibara smirked sadistically. Konoha Council meeting room. 2 days later, the council members and the Hokage bowed in respect to the daimyos of Fire Country and Demon Country entered the council chambers. Danzo silently cursed. With both daimyos present, things would get difficult. And that woman, the Demon Country daimyo, she looked rather familiar. He was now sure that something was wrong. "You may rise." The council members raised their heads. The council members waited anxiously for the verdict from both daimyos. Just then the council doors opened once again, and this time Naruto and Kayashiro entered. The council members were drooling at the sight of the two most handsome men standing together. Naruto and Kayashiro bowed to the daimyo. "Now that we are all here, we can start," Hizaki said. "We have read and discussed the message sent by the council, and we have come to a conclusion," Hibara said, gaining the attention of the council and shinobi. "The match between Naruto Uzumaki and the shinobi of Konoha shall take place dash." Many of the council members smiled in satisfaction. Only a few noticed that the daimyo was yet to finish. Only if Konoha agrees to certain terms. Hizaki finished earning some confused frowns. "But the terms of the match has already been set, Hizaki-sama," Danzo said. "We find those terms to be greatly in favor of Konoha. And in a match like this where one party puts so much at risk, it is only fair that both parties take up the same risk," the fire daimyo said. Danzo didn't like this one censored. The other members of the council were suspicious. "What do you suggest, Hizaki-sama?" Tsunade asked. It was Hibara who answered the question. "If Naruto wins the match, everything that belongs to the other competitors will belong to Naruto and by proxy under the jurisdiction of Demon Country. That includes any kind of clan's wealth, compounds, and scrolls as well." The reaction was immediate and explosive. "Preposterous," one council member shouted. "This is unacceptable. We will not accept this." "Silence," Tsunade bellowed, silencing the foolish council before they end up angering the daimyo even further. "This decision is final. There is no argument. Only those who agree to these terms shall fight in the match. Others can forfeit, and if none of them agrees, the match will not take place and Naruto will leave to Demon Country with everything that rightfully belongs to him in the first place." The fire daimyo glared at the council, daring them to oppose him. "Hizaki-sama, is this not unfair?" Danzo asked, breaking the silence. "Oh, and how is it fair making a young man fight against all these opponents to gain something he rightfully deserves? How is it fair forcing him to forfeit his entire life's hard work because of your greed?" Hizaki asked. "That's because he is a monster dash." The foolish council member did not even finish before a concentrated wave of killing intent choked him. Visions of his death danced before his eyes, and the creator of the killing intent refused to allow him the relief of even passing out. "Don't you dare insult my grandson!" The demonic voice that spoke quietly but poured molten lava across their souls belonged to none other than Uzumaki Hibara, the Demon Country daimyo. The council members panicked. The only ones not affected by the killing intent was Naruto, who looked amused, Kayashiro, who had released his own killing intent at the insult to his mate, the fire daimyo, who has been spared of the killing intent, and the guards of both daimyo, who were shielded from the killing intent by Naruto's own comforting aura. After seeing them panic like a headless chicken for some time, Naruto decided to end the tirade. He walked up to his grandmother, placed a hand on her shoulder and censored her cheek, surprising all of them with his approach towards a daimyo. When Hibara calmed down and took a deep breath, Naruto walked back towards Kayashiro and took his hand, then censored his palm, followed by a mischievous smirk notifying his mate that he was having fun. Kayashiro shook his head at his mate with a smile and delivered a chaste kiss to his lips. Those who witnessed the scene were having a hard time controlling their emotions. It was obvious who Naruto's mysterious husband was. It was also obvious that in front of the handsome Kage, they have no chance of winning over the blonde's affections. Sasuke, who has been present for the meeting, along with the rest of the Rookie Nine and their teachers, could not control his anger at seeing his dope kissing someone else who might be the blonde's husband, but Sasuke obviously didn't care about the husband part. He growled under his breath, which Kayashiro and Naruto clearly heard. Having super heightened senses and all, Kayashiro narrowed his eyes and pulled Naruto closer to him by the waist and sent a taunting smirk at Sasuke. Naruto, being Naruto, just smiled innocently and snuggled onto his husband, further pissing of Sasuke and many of the council. "You two are together? And what do you mean, grandson?" It was Sakura's voice that broke the council out of staring at the couple. And that's when all hell broke loose. Questions after questions were fired at the daimyo and the couple from all directions. Naruto, Kayashiro, and Hibara were decidedly amused. Silence. There goes Tsunade again. The council settled down slowly. Tsunade then turned to the woman who proclaimed to be her Naruto's grandmother. A relation he had earlier shared with Tsunade now belonged to some other woman. Daimyo or not, Tsunade refused to be replaced in her Gaki's life. "I believe you have some explaining to do, Daimyo-sama," Tsunade said, glaring at the woman. "I do? Oh, and why should I bother with explaining anything to you?" Hibara asked, taunting. Tsunade growled, her anger getting the best of her. But before she could open her mouth, another voice cut her off. "I suggest you show some respect, Hokage-sama. Disrespecting our daimyo will not bode well for you." Naruto's calm voice saddened Tsunade. He was supposed to be her Gaki. How could he defend this woman? She looked at him sadly. Naruto continued, "And I will answer your questions. No need to bother my grandmother." "Yes, she is my grandmother. Uzumaki, Kushina's mother, to be more precise." Recognition flashed in Tsunade's eyes. Uzumaki Hibara. But she had died during the destruction of Whirlpool, hadn't she? And even if she was alive, where was she for the first 12 years of his life? She came back after 12 years into the life of the child she abandoned and was welcomed with love, whereas she, Tsunade, was kicked out? Tsunade narrowed her eyes at the woman. "She obviously abandoned you for most of your life, Naruto. How can you even think of loving her when you hate us?" Tsunade asked. "Abandon me?" Naruto scoffed, and he was further angered when he saw the sadness in his grandmother's eyes. He knew Hibara still blamed herself for not being there for him. "The only one who abandoned me was you people. Grandmother was in a coma for 2 years after the village's destruction. Being the queen of the Whirlpool village, the people who wanted the destruction of Whirlpool were after her. So my mother with fathers helped treated her in secret. Impossible. I would have known if such a thing had happened. I'm a top medic. Kushina would have contacted me. She is lying to you, Naruto. Fool! Mother did try to contact you. In fact, she begged you to come back. But you didn't. Drowning in your sorrow, you abandoned the people who still needed you." Now Tsunade remembered. Kushina had sent letters after letters asking her to come back, not specifying the reason, due to security problems. And just like Naruto said, Tsunade has ignored all of them. Naruto continued. Then when she did recover from the coma, she was informed that her daughter, son-in-law, and their unborn child had perished in the Kyuubi attack. She requested to see the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, but was denied because, according to the council, the Jinchuriki was safely living with his parents and his identity was made secret for safety reasons. Naruto glared at the council as he said this. They all sweated when they saw the shimmering anger in his eyes. She left the village after that. Hadn't been in contact with any Konoha shinobi and lived in a non-shinobi village for 13 years before I found her. She is my grandmother, grandniece of Mito Uzumaki, and the former queen of the Whirlpool. The council fell silent. If this was true, then Naruto was also the heir to the daimyo of Demon Country AS&D, the whole Whirlpool Island. The power Naruto held was beyond what they could imagine. And for your other questions, yes, Kayashiro is my husband. We married when I turned 18. That was 4 years ago. And yes, he is the Demon Country Kage. And as for the match, I agree with the terms. If any of the competitors have any problem accepting them, you can forfeit. No one is forcing you to fight, but if you agree to the match, you will have to comply with the terms. So anyone who thinks that they'll lose and doesn't want to risk their wealth is free to forfeit. Naruto finished calmly. The council was mulling over the new information. If all of this was true, having Naruto would give them a major power boost, and they would undoubtedly become the strongest shinobi village. They had to have Naruto. Naruto's eyes were cold and emotionless. But when they met the cold black eyes of the last loyal Uchiha of Konoha, as taunting glint entered them, Sasuke grit his teeth when he saw Naruto looking at him. Like hell, he would forfeit against the blonde. Naruto will belong to him whether he like it or not. I agree with the terms. I am not afraid to face the dope. Just because he has a powerful family doesn't mean that he is strong enough to beat me. The Uchiha scoffed and gave his condensing smirk to Naruto. This caused a rise in confidence for the rest of the competitors. I agree. Me too. Yeah, I agree. We will get you back, Naruto. I agree as well. Bring it on. Get ready to lose, Naruto. I and Akamaru will wipe the floor with you. Murmurs of agreement broke out among the competitors. Naruto skillfully hid the smirk that threatened to break out. Well done, Sasuke, well done. But the next group of answers surprised all of them. We forfeit. Naruto gazed at Neji and Hinata in surprise. Looking into their eyes, he knew that they didn't quit because they were afraid of defeat. May I ask why? Naruto asked curiously. The rest of the council looked at the duo in anger, Hayashi in surprise. Naruto-san, on that Chunin exam years ago, you helped me open my eyes. I understand that you love your life in Demon Country. We have wronged you, Naruto-san, and we deserve your anger and hatred. I want your forgiveness, but fighting you in order to force you from a life you clearly love is not the way to ask for forgiveness. But they are all stubborn in their beliefs, and Uncle had forced us to participate. But in the presence of the daimyo, and given the option to forfeit, I can express my true opinion. I do not wish to fight you, Naruto-san, especially for a cause that would hurt you. I hope you forgive me for my actions. I was wrong and ignorant. Naruto was surprised by the mini-speech given by the normally stoic Neji, and was even more surprised by the sincerity. But he stayed silent and emotionless. And you? Were you not determined to get me back earlier? Naruto asked Hinata, seemingly unfazed by Neji's apology. My reasons are the same, Naruto. I understand that you are happy where you are. I do not want to separate you from those you love. We have already hurt and betrayed you. I will not do it again. The determination and the lack of stutter were a pleasant surprise. Hinata, Neji, I order you to fight this match, or you will be expelled from the clan. I will not let you disrespect the clans in such a way. Hayashi said with a glare. No, and we are ready to face any punishment for our actions. Neji and Hinata said with conviction. Hayashi growled. Then you both are banished, and I will put the seal on you, Hinata. You are no heir of mine. You fail your dash. Enough! Hayashi looked wide-eyed at the daimyo. I gave the competitors the opportunity to quit, and they did. Banishing them from the clans because of that decision is uncalled for. Everyone was surprised. Hayashi growled silently. Most people there knew that his next course of action would be to put the cage bird seal on Hinata and make both their lives living hell. Then my daughter Hanabi will be participating in the match instead of these two disgraces, Hayashi said, garnering their attention. Izaki looked thoughtful, and then he looked at Naruto. The decision rests with you, Naruto-san. Naruto looked at Hayashi, who was glaring daggers at Neji and Hinata, and then he looked back at the daimyo. I agree. Then it shall be. Hanabi Hyuga will fight in the match instead of Neji Hyuga and Hinata Hyuga. Naruto looked at Hayashi and the two Hyuga that stood tall and unmoving despite the murderous glint in their leader's eyes. Naruto turned his gaze towards his grandmother. She could see the thoughts running through his mind. With a subtle nod from Naruto, Hibara sprung the next trap. If I remember Hizaki Dano, slavery seals are banished in the Fire Country, and as far as I know, the Hyuga Cagebird seal is a modified slavery seal. Hibara said with a smirk. The Fire Daimyo was surprised and furious. Is this true, Hokage Dano? Hizaki asked Tsunade. I am afraid it is, but the Hokage have no right to involve in clans matters. Tsunade said, defeated. What is the need of his Kage if you have no power over your own people, Tsunade? This matter will be further investigated, and if it is true, the Hyuga clan shall pay the price for using a slavery seal. Now that the matter of the match is decided, and all others except Niji and Hinata have decided to fight, the match shall take place in a week's time at the Chunin Exam Stadium. In the meantime, I will have the Hyuga matter investigated. Tsunade bowed her head ashamed. Hayashi was having a mental meltdown. If the daimyo does investigate the matter, the Hyuga clan will be in trouble. The rest of the council nervously sat as the daimyo and their guards exited, followed by Naruto and Kayashiro. But before they left, Sasuke decided to open his mouth. Dobe, you know that if you lose, you will be under the complete control of the council. And if the council decides that you should leave your current husband and have to marry someone else, you will have to do it, he said, smirking. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Doesn't matter really. It's not like I am going to lose. He exited the room with a smirk, leaving behind a furious group of people. Konoha's end has begun, starting with the Hyuga clan. Beginning of the end, Naruto was thinking about the upcoming fight when a familiar chakra signature was outside his room. Naruto tensed as the door opened. Naruto narrowed his eyes at the man he once viewed as a big brother. Why would his guards let Iruka enter when they knew that he didn't want to see the man? Yumino-san. Iruka was hurt by the dispassionate tone, and he gave a censored her smile. Do you still hate me, Naruto? Naruto raised an eyebrow. Don't you already know my answer, Yumino-san? Iruka was already messing with his attitude. His very presence was making Naruto agitated. Will you listen to me once, Naruto? After all, I was once your big brother, Iruka asked in a calm yet sad voice. Big brother? Naruto slammed his hands on the table as he stood up. What are you playing at, Iruka? He didn't yell, but he was angry. Iruka smiled, and then he chuckled. You're still so easy to rile up. Naruto, you are still the same, Iruka said between chuckles. No, Yumino-san, I can safely say that I am not the fool that I was back then, Naruto said, scowling, and he turned away from Iruka, the person whose betrayal he still couldn't get over. No, Naruto, you were never a fool to begin with. I know that you are still the kind-hearted, stubborn blonde who would fight the entire world for his precious people. I always saw through that mask you were, Naruto. That idiot mask you kept up to protect yourself. Naruto's eyes widened, but he didn't turn around to see Iruka's face. He didn't need to see his face to know that he was telling the truth. Iruka continued speaking. It didn't take me long to figure out that I was one of the only two people who saw through that mask. Naruto had nothing to say. He couldn't speak. He had always been proud of his mask back then because he believed that no one saw through it. But now Iruka is saying that two people saw through it. He had a guess who the second person was. The second person was the Sandaime. Iruka said, confirming his guess. We knew you were suffering, but we couldn't do anything in fear of pushing you away. Naruto closed his eyes. He didn't want to hear anymore. But he had no strength to stop Iruka. Some part of him wanted to know, wanted to hear some form of explanation from Iruka. Day by day, I watched as you faded. And despite all I had done, you never did trust me enough to drop your mask in front of me. It hurt, but I understood. When the Chunin exams were near, I was very worried about you. I found out about how Kakashi was neglecting you and how your teammates treated you, but I never got the chance to change any of that before everything began crumbling down. Why are you telling me all this? What are you trying to prove? Naruto asked. I'm not trying to prove anything, Naruto. But now that you're here with me again, I want you to know everything, Naruto. Maybe I'll get my little brother back. Naruto scoffed. You're way over your head, Iruka. Get out. I don't want to listen to you anymore. No, Naruto. I won't leave until you listen to me. Give me a chance, Naruto. Please. Naruto closed his eyes. And pray tell, why should I give you a chance? You made it pretty clear what you thought of me that day, Iruka. I don't want to give you or this godforsaken village a chance at anything. Naruto felt Iruka's anger build even before Iruka exploded. Don't lump me in with the rest of this disgusting village, Naruto. Naruto turned around to look at Iruka, a little surprised. Give me a chance, Naruto. Just listen to me once. Naruto sat back down in his chair impassively, his eyes meeting Iruka's head on. I ask again, Yumino-san. Why should I? Because I fucking deserve a chance, Naruto, Iruka said. Iruka was tired, so drained from all the years of agony he went through. Naruto sighed. He knew he shouldn't do this, Make the man leave this instant, because even if Naruto wanted to hate this man, he never could. Listening to whatever he said would only crumple his resolve further. But his instincts told him to listen, and he trusted his instincts. Naruto tilted his head back in the chair so that he was facing the ceiling. If it makes any difference, I am no longer a part of Konoha, not even its citizen. Naruto turned his head to face Iruka in surprise. And for the first time since the man entered, Naruto clearly looked at Iruka. The lack of a headband was glaring difference. It only proved how much attention Naruto had given the man before. He knew how passionate Iruka was about Konoha. Konoha is the village that his parents had died protecting, the village that he swore to protect with his life. Iruka embraced the will of fire with all he had, and now Iruka was no longer a Konoha ninja? Why? Why? Naruto asked. Iruka sighed. At least now he had Naruto's attention. A small smile tugged at his lips as he answered. Konoha had lost my respect for a long time, Naruto, even years before you were banished. Then why didn't you quit earlier? Naruto asked, ignoring the fact that he was supposed to act like he didn't care. Because I had someone to protect. Iruka looked Naruto as he said this, and Naruto knew who that someone was. I could only help you if I had remained a ninja, so I did. I always believed that you didn't belong in Konoha. Naruto narrowed his eyes. You deserved better than Konoha. And seeing you now, I guess I was right. I wanted to get you away from Konoha, wanted to give you a new chance at a happier life. But even behind the mask you wore, I knew you loved Konoha. And the Sandaime always managed to convince me saying that you belonged in Konoha. Iruka scowled. And as long as you loved Konoha, I couldn't take you away from here. But I tried to help you as much as I could. And for a while you were happy, and I was satisfied. Everything went to hell with the Sandaime's death. I was afraid whoever the new Hokage was would treat you as a weapon. But then you came back with Tsunade. Seeing how close you were to Tsunade, I was relieved. But of course things couldn't stay good for very long, could they? Iruka chuckled ruefully. I knew that the council was planning to get rid of you even before Sasuke defected. And that little Uchiha bastard gave them the perfect reason. Naruto looked at Iruka, his emotions a jumbled mess. When the council spread the news that you had gone Kyuubi on Sasuke, I could guess what it would come to. Either they would execute you, banish you, or turn you over to Danzo. Among the three, I thought banishment was the best. I trusted Tsunade to have some more power over the council, but I guess she was too weak-willed for that. Iruka sneered. Naruto was shell-shocked by this new side of Iruka. The day before your punishment was decided, I found out that most of the council members were planning to execute you or turn you over to Danzo. I couldn't allow that. It was quite easy to manipulate the council members. Some rumors about how your death would result in the Kyuubi being released, and a little lie about an organization after the Kyuubi, which would attack Konoha to capture you. I only found out too late that the last one wasn't a lie at all. They predictably took the easier way out, banishment. You. Naruto mumbled shocked. Iruka chuckled. Yeah, I'm not the goody two-shoes after all, huh? Naruto looked down. He had a lot to think about already. Iruka continued. I was worried about them sealing off your chakra as the procedure for banishment, but your Jinchuriki seal helped out there. Of course, the only reason they didn't seal his chakra back then was because it would have messed up his Jinchuriki seal. Naruto remembered that well. I wanted you to leave Konoha without a conflict, and I wanted you to have no reason to ever come back to this accursed village if something went wrong. And after what had happened, I was the only thing binding you to this village. Iruka said, so you cut that relationship off so that I would be free. Naruto finished. Now he understood why Iruka treated him the way he did at that time. Naruto leaned back in his chair, tired. This was all too much. But Iruka wasn't done. But it was only supposed to be temporary. I took on a long-term mission the day before your banishment took place. I needed a reason to be out of the village. And using my mission as a cover, I followed you. I couldn't tell you the truth just yet. So I followed in the shadows and made sure you made it out of the fire country unscathed. Naruto didn't even bother hiding his surprise any longer. He had always wondered what kind of luck he had back then. Iruka smiled softly. Everything went fine for a while. You made it out of Fire Country safely, and I had some friends outside Fire Country who made sure you were safe afterward. They were supposed to make sure you were fine without giving themselves away. And I came back to Konoha after the mission. I did some snooping around and made sure that neither Danzo nor any of the Konoha ninja had any information about you. I had a free reign because I had publicly belittled you. The civilians all believed that I was finally out of the demon's influence." Iroka scoffed, then his eyes hardened. "They were all so proud to tell me about how they had made your life worse than it already was. Well, they regretted it afterwards." Iroka's smirk had dark undercurrent. No one ever realized the reason for the sudden fires and tragedies that befell some of the esteemed council members and some merchant families. Naruto was chuckling now. "Iroka, you." His eyes were sad. "Why didn't you search for me afterwards, Iroka?" Naruto asked sadly. Iroka lowered his head. "Because I had believed that you died." Naruto looked confused. Iroka explained. "For a month, everything was all right. You were in water country, and one of my friends was looking after you." Naruto frowned. Then his eyes saddened. "Mira?" he asked softly. Iroka nodded. Mira was a woman that Naruto could never forget. He had just made it into water country, and he was depressed and didn't even want to live anymore. That's when Mira found him. She was beautiful, with sky blue eyes and cherry red hair. He didn't understand then, but Mira had been of Uzumaki ancestry. She took him to her inn and gave him a room and took care of him despite his protests. She was the one who had managed to bring him out of his depression. And he was truly happy then, but then the Akatsuki came. It was Kakuzu and Haiden who came for him that time. Mira had tried to protect him. She failed, and the price was her life. Naruto believed that it was the sight of her lifeless body that finally broke him down and crumpled every censored of what he had to live. That time, just before her death, Mira was trying to tell him about someone who wanted to protect him. At that time, he never understood what she was trying to say. Now he knew that she was talking about Iroka. "I had quit being a shinobi by the end of that month and was planning on going to water country to meet you and Mira there. Then I would have told you all the truth. I was worried when Mira didn't send me any letters that week. By the time I made it to water country, I got news of her death and you being kidnapped." Iroka's eyes looked far off. "She died trying to protect me," Naruto mumbled, "and she is happy that she did." Naruto looked at Iroka. Iroka was looking at him with conviction. "The week before her death, she wrote to me saying how precious you are and that if she had to, she would lay her life down for you. I was glad that you had one more person to protect you." Iroka closed his eyes, stifling his tears. "After I knew you were kidnapped, I used the help of every connection I had in the elemental nations. That's how I found out about the Akatsuki. I also found out about how they killed the Jinchuriki by extracting the demon. I had made my way to AIM, trying to find you even if I knew I was too weak and too late. I arrived there, only to witness the giant explosion of demonic chakra that took half of AIM with it. I had assumed the worst after that." Naruto nodded. He understood, and he was glad that he listened to Iroka. Silence extended for some time before Naruto stood up. Naruto walked over to Iroka and pulled him into a hug. "Sorry, Iroka Ne-san," he whispered. Kayashiro stood at the door watching the scene. He knew it was the right decision to let Iroka speak with Naruto. He didn't know what happened, but was sure that his mate would let him know later. He turned away and left, giving them some privacy. Naruto entered his bedroom to see Kayashiro lying on the bed. The blankets had pulled around his waist, exposing his censored chest. Kayashiro's head was tilted, exposing his neck and the censored. His silky red hair spread out on the pillow. Naruto stood there and appreciated the view for some time. "If you like the view, why don't you come and get a closer look?" Kayashiro turned his head to face to look at his mate, eyes glowing in the dimly lit bedroom. Naruto smirked and unbuttoned his shirt as he stepped forward. "I'll take you up on that offer." Kayashiro intently watched as his mate discarded his clothes one by one, slowly and sensually. Once he was censored, Kayashiro pulled him forward so that Naruto fell on top of him and then flipped their position. "Oh, you're in a very good mood today." Kayashiro spoke before moving down to nibble on Naruto's neck. Naruto gasped and arched his back as Kayashiro censored on top of the censored. "Aren't I always?" Naruto asked, gasping. "Maybe to the others, but I am your mate, Naruto. You are different today." Kayashiro met Naruto's eyes as he said this. Naruto noticed that Kayashiro's pupil had turned fox-like. Naruto smirked. His mate was getting rather wild tonight. Naruto leaned forward and put a small kiss on Kayashiro's lips. "Of course you would know. I feel better than I have felt in a long time today. Does this have something to do with Iroka's visit?" Naruto scoffed. "As if you don't know. I know you're the one who let Iroka in." Kayashiro smirked. Instead of answering, He placed his lips on Naruto's chest and placed little kisses. "So what exactly happened?" Kaishiro asked. Naruto smiled sadly. "We talked, and Irika even let me see his memories afterwards." "What did you see?" He always tried to help me, Kyo. He never was disappointed in me when he heard about what I supposedly did to Sasuke. He didn't believe any of the things they said, yet he belittled you for your actions that day. Why would he do that? Did you know he was trying to get me out of the village? He believed that I deserved better than Konoha. He had fought with the Sandaime so many times over that. But the Sandaime always stopped him, saying that Konoha wouldn't let go of their Jinchuriki just like that. He protected me from so many assassination attempts, yet always stayed in the shadows. Kaishiro frowned. Wasn't he just a chunin? Naruto laughed. Irika San was a master of deception, Kyo. He may be chunin by rank, but when it comes to strength... Naruto smirked. Kaishiro chuckled. But if he is that strong, how did Mizuki beat him so easily that night? Naruto frowned. He wanted Mizuki to tell me the truth about you being sealed inside me. He had fought with the Sandaime so many times to let me know, but Gigi thought that it wouldn't be the best decision. Irika believed that I had every right to know why I was hated, but he didn't want to go against the Sandaime's orders either. So he let Mizuki do the dirty work. And if I hadn't jumped in and disposed of Mizuki, I am sure that Irika would have after that. Oh, and he's no longer a Konoha ninja. Naruto added as an afterthought. Kaishiro hummed. But that would mean that his chakra was sealed off. Isn't that what they do to active shinobi who quit and want to leave the village? Yes, his chakra used to be sealed until this morning. Naruto said. Kaishiro laughed. There's no seal and Uzumaki can't crack. I always wondered why no one attacked me while I was leaving the fire country. Not even the root ninja had come. Well, today I got my answer to that question. Kaishiro was surprised. You mean Irika? Naruto nodded. That guy must be something then. Danzo would have sent at least 1 or 2 groups after you. Kaishiro mumbled. He made sure that I got out of fire country unscathed and covered up my trails. He wanted me to cut all my ties with Konoha, including him. He didn't want me having anything that could bring me back to this accursed village. That's why he... I see. Kaishiro mumbled. He did a lot for you. He did. He only remained a ninja because he wanted to make sure that Konoha never dragged me back. He did all this for me. He has a very good spy network, you know. A spy network too? Kaishiro deadpanned. Whoever made that guy a chunin? Naruto chuckled. Well, he found out when I had been captured by Akatsuki. He thought that I had died. Kaishiro shook his head. He must have been devastated. After that, he just wandered around. Only came back to Konoha when the news about me being alive and coming back here reached him. He was glad that I was alive, but still only came here to not let me get tied down to Konoha again. Naruto said, well, what did he say about what you were doing to Konoha now? Kaishiro asked. That he'd help me in every way he can. Good. Now that's out of the way. Kaishiro said, and his hands moved down Naruto's body. Naruto whined. I lost my mood, Kyo. Maybe some other time. With that, Naruto turned over and closed his eyes. Kaishiro laid there confused for about 5 seconds before his libido caught up to the fact that his mate had just denied him. Kaishiro narrowed his eyes. Oh no, you don't. In a split second, Naruto found himself flipped over a demonic Kaishiro hovering over him. Kaishiro's eyes were red and fox-like. 9 tails coiled around Naruto, restraining him. Some of Kaishiro's tails glided over some sensitive regions, eliciting a censored from Naruto. I have many ways to bring back your mood, Kaishiro said as his lips moved towards his mate's manhood. Unseen by Kaishiro, Naruto smirked. It was so much fun riling up his mate, especially when it had such interesting benefits. Naruto purred as his own demon reacted to his mate. Well, it was a good thing that the silencing seals were already up. 1 week passed just like that, but so many things had already changed. The biggest one was how the Hyuga clan had changed. True to his words, the daimyo did investigate the Hyuga clan matter, and the results were greatly against the Hyuga. Almost half of the Hyuga clan, mainly the main branch, had been imprisoned for use of an illegal seal. They also had to pay a huge penalty, so it was easy to say that the Hyuga clan was effectively crippled. But the branch families rejoiced their freedom. The caged bird seal was permanent, so removing it was impossible, but Naruto proposed that he could alter it. Everyone was surprised when the Uzumaki offered to help. Flashback. Naruto-san, The daimyo who was present at the meeting greeted the blonde as he entered. Naruto bowed his head in respect. Hizaki-sama, rise Naruto-san. Your grandmother told me that you agreed to help with the Hyuga issue. Hizaki said. Naruto nodded his head. The representatives of the branch family, one of them being Neji, were surprised that the blonde decided to help them, considering how the blonde had made clear of his hatred for the entire village. I have studied about the caged bird seal, my lord. I have found that the seal is impossible to remove without harming the individual. Naruto informed, and the branch family members gasped when they heard this. They had hoped the blonde had found some way to remove them, but I could alter it, Naruto said. All of them looked at the blonde confused. Alter it how, Naruto-san? Well, it's fairly simple. I could remove the part of the seal that causes pain to the bearer of the seal. Instead, the seal would act as a bloodline protection seal. The Hyuga all looked at the blonde surprised. What all will the altered seal do, Naruto-san? Neji stepped forward and asked hopefully. Naruto looked at Neji. No emotions crossed his face as he spoke. The altered seal will prevent the Byakugan from being transplanted, and the Byakugan genes on the body of a member after they die will be sealed off. That is, the DNA from the dead body would be useless if anyone wished to use it. That's it, and you will be able to do it? Another Hyuga asked. Yes, Naruto said with conviction. I don't doubt your ability, Naruto-san. But why are you helping us? A female Hyuga asked. Does it matter what my reasons are? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. The Hyuga had no answer. For the record, let's just say that I helped you, because I know how it feels to suffer because of a seal that you had no choice about being placed on you. The sentence struck their hearts, but Naruto had said it all with a stoic face. If you have no problem accepting my help, I will be ready to modify the seal tomorrow itself. Naruto informed them and left. Flashback ends. The very next day, the seal had been modified. The entire Hyuga clan, or at least what was left of them, was indebted to Naruto. Naruto, did you have breakfast yet? Naruto looked up from the document he was reading over. Iruka was standing at the door with a tray of food. Ah, thanks Iruka-sensei, Naruto said with a small smile. Iruka walked in and placed the tray on the table. The fight's today. Are you ready? Iruka asked. Ante Olvis? Naruto chuckled. The real question is whether they are ready for me. Iruka smiled. He had complete trust in Naruto's abilities. Where is Kyo? Naruto asked as he finished breakfast. Oh, he said that he'll meet you at the stadium. He wanted to greet the other Kages before the match started. Hibara-sama went with him as well. Ah, I kind of forgot about the other Kages coming to watch the matches. Who all were coming, Iruka? Well, the Sandame and Yondame Tsuchikage, the Godame Mizukage. Don't forget Garakuen and the Godame and Sandame Reikage as well. And don't forget that all the daimyo would be present as well. All of them are here? Not surprising. After all, this match will create a huge change in the balance of power. Naruto sighed. Naruto, it's time to go to the stadium. Iruka said, all right, let's go. The stadium was filled with people. People from outside and inside Fire Country were there to see the matches. Most of them just wanted a chance to meet the Naruto Uzumaki, who was their mysterious and talented Golden Fox, as well as the head of the Black Rose Corporation. Those particular details had been made public after Naruto had informed the council of it. After all, no use keeping it a secret when they knew that the Konoha Council would make it public anyway. Naruto and Iruka appeared inside the Kage box with a traceless Shunshin. Ah, Naruto-kun, you're here. It was Kuratsuchi, 4th Tsuchikage, who greeted him. Naruto bowed to the woman and the rest of the Kages. No need to bow before us, Naruto-kun. After all, we are friends. Darui, 5th Reikage, said, chuckling. The others agreed. My, you've gotten even more hot since the last time I saw you, Naruto. Kayashiro-san is quite the lucky man, Mei said, giving Naruto a smirk. Then she glanced over at Kayashiro, but the same goes for Kayashiro, I suppose. Two unearthly beauties for each other. Why are all the cute ones gay? All others chuckled. Well, good to know that you haven't changed, Mei-san. Kayashiro chuckled. Tsunade could only watch dumbfounded as Naruto and the other Kages engaged in a friendly banter, as if they had known each other for a long time. Jokes aside, are you ready for the match, Naruto? Gaara asked. Naruto only replied with a smirk. Kayashiro stood near the glass viewing window, while the crowd's getting impatient. It's time to start the matches. The other Kages nodded in agreement. Naruto moved towards Kayashiro, who pulled him into a passionate kiss. Wait till you get somewhere alone, you two. or you'll give the old guys a heart attack. Gaara said. Inoki and I protested to the comment. The others only chuckled. Naruto and Tsunade vanished from the Kage box. They all watched as Naruto appear in the middle of the stadium in a swirl of black rose petals. Cries of Naruto-sama filled the stadium. Fangirls squealed, and some even fainted at the sight of their idol. Kaishiro only chuckled. So how are the matches arranged? Inoki asked. Is it an all-against-one match or one-on-one matches? Darui asked. One-on-one. Kaishiro said. Nara said, and I quote, I want some personal time with all of them. The other Kage chuckled. He's going to decimate them. Gaara said. Kaishiro humped. His eyes moved to the area where the nobles sat. There a beautiful raven-haired woman with violet eyes sat watching the match. She turned to look at him when she felt eyes on her. Her violet eyes met Kaishiro's. Kaishiro smirked and her eyes widened. She quickly looked away. No one noticed this small exchange, as everyone was listening to Tsunade give an introduction speech. When she laid out the terms of the matches, there were a lot of protests. No one wanted their beloved Naruto-sama becoming a part of a village like Konoha. After all, Konoha had hit rock bottom over the last 9 years, and it was no secret. Ignoring the protests, Tsunade listed out the matches. The matches were as following. První Naruto vlomítko s Ino, druhý Naruto vlomítko s Hoji, třetí Naruto vlomítko s Tenten, čtvrtý Naruto vlomítko s Shino, pátý Naruto vlomítko s Shikamaru. 6. Naruto v/S Rock Lee. Sedmý Naruto vlomítko s Kiba. 8. Naruto v/S Hanabi. Devátý Naruto vlomítko Sai. 10. Naruto v/S Sakura. 11. Naruto v/S Sasuke. 12. Naruto v/S Kurenai. 13. Naruto v/S Guy. 14. Naruto vlomítko s Asuma. 15. Naruto v/S Kakashi. 16. Naruto v/S Tsunade. 17. Naruto v/S Jiraiya. Begin! The audience watched with bated breath as a jonin, just some random jonin with no other importance than announcing the matches, announced the match of the first match. Ino and Naruto stood looking at each other. Naruto looked bored while Ino had a look of concentration. I will defeat you, Naruto, Ino said. Naruto raised an eyebrow, not really fazed by her proclamation. Instead, he stood a little straighter and put his hands inside the pockets of his jeans and tilted his head to the side so that his bangs fell over his left eye slightly. There was a chorus of squeals and flashes of camera. Almost all of them focused on Naruto. Ino scowled. Was he doing that on purpose? Posing for pictures during the match? Just to piss her off? But she had to admit, he looked rather hot, especially with that smoldering gaze focused on her. His V-neck tightly stretched over his lean muscles, making him all the more delectable. Naruto smirked as if he heard her thoughts. Are you planning on fighting or just standing there and ogling me, Ino? Ino blushed angry and embarrassed. Her hands flew into a sign and she yelled, Mind-Body Switch Jutsu. Naruto jumped out of the way of the mind transfer. Did you really think that would war dash? Naruto stopped midway, his eyes going blank. From the balcony, overlooking the matches, the rookies were surprised that it ended so easily. The Kages, however, were chuckling to themselves. Did she really just go into the mind of a former Jinchuriki who now possessed the power of the Jubi? Well, bad luck for her. A moment later, Naruto smirked again. Well, that was easy, Sakura scoffed. Hey, Ino, just make the idiot forfeit already. She shouted down at who she thought was Ino. Naruto looked at her and raised an eyebrow. Then he chuckled and slowly moved towards Ino's down body. So, Ino managed to master the mind-body switch? She was able to change the direction of the jutsu even when I moved. It was very much faster than expected as well. Any other opponent would have been easily defeated, Naruto thought as he stood next to the body. What is she doing? Sakura asked, confused. Shikamaru's eyes widened. It's not Ino. What? That's impossible, Sakura said. Even Sasuke-kun had trouble breaking out of her advanced mind-body switch. And he just broke out of it just like that? Impossible. Ino stood confused. This was Naruto's mind? It was plain just unending white space. Usually this is the place where she gets the motor control of her target's body. But why is she still here? Why, hello there. Are you here to keep me company? A gleeful voice announced from her right. She turned to look at who had said that. It was a woman. Blood-red eyes and hair. Her skin a dark bronze color. She had the body that could make any straight man fall for her, and she was completely censored. "Who are you?" Ino asked cautiously. "Oh, I am sorry. Where are my manners?" The woman yelped, a hand flying over her cherry red lips. "My name is Time, and I am the first defense." Ino was surprised. A mind defense? One so well crafted as well. Ino understood that it was not really a woman or an entity, but simply a mental representation of one of the many defenses inside Naruto's mind. First defense? How many defenses are there? Ino asked skeptically. This was troublesome. The woman, Time as it is called, smiled brightly. "Oh, Creator has 9 defenses around his mind. I am the first and the weakest one." Time looked down, "But no one has ever gotten past me." "Really? Why is that?" Ino needed to know as much as possible. Every defense had a weakness. Creator is obviously Naruto, because everyone would die before they find a way past me. Time had a very pitying smile. "What?" Ino asked dubiously. "That's my specialty, you see. By coming into my domain, you actually granted me control over your body." Time was still smiling sadly. "What?" Ino yelled. "Impossible." Ino's eyes opened and her body stood up. Everyone watched surprised. Her eyes were red. Naruto smirked as she bowed before him. "What shall I do, Creator?" "The usual time," Naruto said. Everyone watched in muted horror as Ino's body began changing. "What are you doing to my body now?" Ino asked. "I will start by aging your body a year per second. In a minute, you will be 82 years old. Isn't that sad?" "You poor thing," Time spoke. Ino watched in horror as the woman stepped back and gave her a nasty smirk. "Creator was kind on you. Usually, I don't inform the intruders of what is happening to their body before it is too late. And I usually wait till their bodies start turning to dust before kicking them out. But Creator wanted me to inform you now." Time pouted. "So you still have a chance to live if you go back out now." Ino stepped back in shock. "It has already been 35 seconds. You better get out now, you pathetic girl, or you'll have to live with your life as old as your father's grandmother." Time sneered. In a flash of panic, Ino canceled the jutsu. Time vanished as the defense went back to dormancy. Red eyes turned back in a pale blue. Everyone watched, still shocked, as Ino came back to her own body. She looked at least 50 years old now. The 22-year-old girl who started the match was now in a body far older than her actual body. Ino fell down on her knees in horror. "Impossible," she whispered in shock and horror. "For a woman like her, this may be the greatest punishment yet." "Ino," Naruto began, "be thankful. I let you have easily. Compared to what I have planned for some others, this is nothing. So quit now, and I might not cause you further damage." That was a warning, and Ino knew that. Everyone who heard it knew that. But she was angry. "You monster!" she screamed and launched herself at Naruto. For a ninja, escaping a fight with her life and virtue should have been the most important thing. But she had let her anger take over just because her body aged a little. Didn't she understand that much worse could have happened if Naruto had wished for it? Naruto narrowed his eyes. Did she still think that she had a fucking chance against him? He felt insulted. His chakra roared outward like a tsunami wave. Everyone felt the power rolling off the man. Ino froze when she felt the pressure of the unleashed chakra. Then Naruto's hand was suddenly placed on her stomach, 5 fingers pressing into her skin, and all she knew was the pain. "I really didn't intend to do this to you, but you should know when to quit," he whispered in a calm voice as if he was talking about the weather. Ino fainted, and the Jonin proctoring the match jumped down to check her. After a moment, he confirmed that she was just unconscious and not dead. "Winner, Uzumaki Naruto," he announced. The crowd roared. "What did he do to her?" Sakura asked, shaken. "How did she age so fast?" "The dope strong," Sasuke said, smirking. The others were not surprised that he didn't care much about what happened to Ino. Next match, Uzumaki Naruto v/Sekimichi Choji, the proctor announced. Choji was down in the arena, and he gulped as he looked at Naruto. The power he felt was still causing a shiver to run down his spine. Naruto watched him passively as Choji was on the verge of indecision. "Begin," the proctor announced. "Choji," Naruto spoke, and Choji looked at Naruto unsurely. "I personally have no qualms against you, unlike the others. You're a nice guy, and if you want, I'm giving you a chance to quit this now. You can go back out with yourself and your wealth intact." Stunned silence followed that statement. Kayashiro shook his head. No matter how much Naruto tried to act heartless, he could never completely become one. He may become a cold-hearted jerk at times, but never heartless. I can't, Choji said after a moment of silence. I am the heir to the Akimichi clan, so if I lose, everything owned by my clan will also be lost. I know and understand that, but I cannot back down without a fight, Naruto. It would be the greatest insult to my clan and comrades. But thank you for the offering. Naruto nodded with a slight smile. Just then the earth beneath his feet crumpled and Naruto began sinking into the suddenly muddy earth. Behind him stood another Choji with his palms pressed to the ground. Naruto only smirked. A shadow clone, huh? Smart. And then Naruto melted into mud. Choji wildly looked around for the enemy, a kunai in his hand. His shadow clone dispelled suddenly. Before he knew what was happening, a water dragon was racing at him from the cover of the shadow clone's smoke. Body expansion jutsu. His fist enlarged to monstrous size and smashed through the incoming water dragon with ease. Impressive. Naruto's voice sounded from behind him. Choji turned around to deliver a punch without wasting a moment. But as soon as he did, a kick to his back, sending him sprawling towards the stadium walls. Sorry, Choji, but I have to cut this short, Naruto said as he stood a few feet away from Choji, blank-faced. Choji tried to move, but his body was already caught. Restraint, Naruto murmured, and that's when Choji noticed the tendrils of chakra engulfing each limb and restraining him to the ground. Sleep, Choji, Naruto said before Choji could come up with any other plan. And Choji felt his awareness slip away. The proctor checked the slumbering form of Choji and announced Naruto the winner. That's 2 matches in the span of 5 minutes. The Water Country Daimyo said, "Is it just me, or are the Konoha ninjas getting weaker?" He chuckled. It is not surprising after all. Naruto-san is the grandson of Hibaradano and the child of the famed Red Death and Yellow Flash. The Grass Country Daimyo said, Naruto-chan's strength is the result of years and years of hard work. Being the child of a Kage or grandchild of a daimyo has nothing to do with it, Hibara said. My apologies if I offended you, Hibaradano. The Grass Country Daimyo said. Hibara only nodded in reply. My daughter has been raving about Naruto-kun from the moment she heard about him being the famed Golden Fox. It seems my precious Mayo-chan has a crush on your grandchild. The Lightning Country Daimyo said, with a chuckle. His daughter Mayo, who was seated near her father, blushed heavily. Hibara had a very good idea of where this conversation would lead to. Oh, she's such a cute child. I would have definitely liked her as my granddaughter-in-law, had my Naruto-chan not been married already. Most of the daimyo present were surprised by the news. He's married? Dear sweet Mayo screeched none too gently. The Lightning Country Daimyo tried to calm down his raging daughter. While Hibara was sympathetic on the outside, she scowled on the inside, like I'd let a censor titch like her ever marry my Naruto-chan. Oh! The next match has begun. That had most of them turning their attention back to the arena. Tenten and Naruto face each other in the stadium ground. She tightened her grip on the kunai. She was not a person for monologues and such, but she was greatly disappointed in Naruto for abandoning his former home. She was determined to beat him so that he could be useful to Konoha. Naruto could feel the emotions inside her and smirked at her. Her loyalty was impressive, but Konoha did not deserve it. And no matter what Konoha had done, she will remain loyal to it. Tenten disappeared from sight at that moment. Naruto just stood there nonchalantly. He lifted his hand and caught the leg that would have crushed his skull. He tightened his grip, not letting her go. Tenten frowned. He looked at her and then turned to look upward from where many weapons were going to rain down on the both of them. Tenten smirked at him and whispered, "Twin rising dragons," before she used a replacement to get out of his hold. Naruto raised an eyebrow. The weapons firing at him at high speeds suddenly changed course and began rushing at Tenten. Tenten's eyes widened as she was forced to dodge her own attack. As the weapons all hit the ground where she stood earlier, creating a huge cloud of dust, she tried to sense Naruto. But imagine her surprise when she found the stadium entirely drenched in his chakra. It was spread out like thick honey, making it difficult for her to pinpoint the source. For all she knew, he could be anywhere inside the stadium. Tenten growled in frustration, but she suddenly stiffened when an arm wrapped around her midsection from behind. Not having fun? His voice was husky as he whispered into her ear. Tenten tried to flip their position, but found that her body was immobilized. He chuckled at her attempt. It's no use. You won't be able to move or talk, he said, smirking. The cloud of dust now covered them both out of sight of the audience. She knew that the dust should have normally dissipated by now, but it still remained, meaning that he was doing something to keep them out of sight. What was he planning? This might hurt a lot. And before she could even comprehend what he had said, pain assaulted her from all sides. Tenten's screams rang out on the arena, and everyone watched with bated breath as the dust cloud cleared. Tenten lied unconscious on the floor, and Naruto stood there calmly. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki. The crowd cheered once again as the proctor announced the winner. Kayashiro suppressed a yawn as he watched the match. This is boring, and he knew that Naruto wasn't even putting an effort in. This is boring. Kayashiro projected his thoughts to his mate. You're right. I should speed this up. I'm only really interested in putting down a few particular people. Naruto's voice echoed in Kayashiro's mind. The next match is with the Aburame. Do you plan on playing with him? No. I'll end it soon. Aburame Shino stood facing his opponent. Naruto sighed, and in one flick of his wrist, blades of wind rushed at his opponent. Shino took a direct hit and then scattered into a bug clone. Naruto could feel the swarm attacking him from behind. He closed his eyes and unleashed his chakra once more. The insects that ate his chakra all fell one by one. Another wave of chakra, and the entire stadium ground exploded, sending Shino flying from the underground. Shino couldn't even gather his balance before chakra chains pinned him to the stadium wall, and he was knocked out. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. You really needed to do that much damage? Kayashiro thought, exasperated. Not really. Naruto snickered. He's here, by the way. I would be surprised if he didn't come. So, should give him the offer or just set up a meeting? Set up a meeting. I wish to meet him in person. I have a feeling that he'd like that, especially after he sees all the matches. Naruto's chuckle reverberated in his mind as the proctor announced the next match. Uzumaki Naruto v/S Nara Shikamaru. Begin. Naruto looked down to see that he was already caught by the Nara shadow. Shikamaru had narrowed his eyes at Naruto. He was aware that with the amount of skills Naruto had shown, there was a high chance that Naruto might break out of his hold. Before Naruto knew it, a kunai was at his jugular. He didn't need to know that a Shikamaru clone was behind him with a kunai. Shikamaru moved his hands to the pouch on his thigh, and Naruto mimicked him. Shikamaru took out a kunai, but since Naruto had no weapon pouch on him, he was weaponless. Shikamaru placed his hand so that he could throw the kunai at Naruto. Give up now, Naruto. It would be a lot less troublesome for both of us. Naruto chuckled, and then he moved his hand. Shikamaru, to his horror, found himself mimicking Naruto's actions. It was clear that Naruto had overtaken the shadow possession. Shikamaru cursed and tried to cancel his shadow possession, but again, to his confusion, the shadow possession remained. Shikamaru growled. The clone holding the kunai to Naruto's jugular moved the kunai so that it nicked his throat. Don't move. But Naruto only chuckled. Soon the Naruto he was holding had vanished. Naruto now stood a few feet away from them near a tree, and miraculously, the shadow was still connected, signaling that the jutsu had not yet ended. But instead of a single connection between Naruto's shadow split into three. One connecting with the clone that had held a kunai to his neck, the other connecting with the Shikamaru that had initially caught him in the jutsu, and the third one extended into the tree's shadow. Naruto took 3 steps forward, and the 2 Shikamaru mimicked him helplessly, and to everyone's surprise, another Shikamaru had also come out from hiding in the tree's shadow. All 3 Shikamaru were caught in Naruto's shadow. Naruto moved his hand like Shikamaru had done earlier, and acted like taking out a kunai. Naruto's hand was empty, but the 3 Shikamaru who actually had kunai pouches had to take out actual kunai from their pouches. Naruto moved his curled hand to his throat. Shikamaru mimicked him. All 3 had a kunai placed at their neck. Shikamaru knew he was caught. Naruto had been smarter than he gave him credit for. He was about to surrender, but then a searing pain shot through his body. He fell down screaming. The shadow wavered and vanished as Naruto canceled the jutsu. Shikamaru was on the ground, unconscious. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. Another match in Naruto's favor. Kayashiro said, not really surprising. Gaara said, the only reason I came here, even when I knew the results of the match already, was to get out of paperwork duty for some time, and it would be fun to see Konoha get what it deserves. Yeah, that too. Gaara agreed. Kayashiro only chuckled. His eyes again swept back to the figure of the woman he had noticed earlier. She seemed intrigued. Once again, she took notice of him staring at her. This time, she met his eyes steadily for some time. "Who is that, Kayashiro-kun?" Mei asked. "You're not planning on cheating on poor Naruto-kun, are you?" Kayashiro chuckled. "She's just an acquaintance," he murmured without taking his eyes off of the woman. Naruto Uzumaki v/S Rock Lee begin. "I will defeat you today, my youthful friend, and then you shall be back in our home village once again. My flames of youth shall help me win." "You believe you can defeat me?" Naruto scoffed. "You will need more than just your youth for that. Do not underestimate me, Naruto-san." "Wrong. You are the one underestimating me, Lee." With that, Naruto vanished from sight. Lee, who had already removed his weights, also moved and vanished. The fighting figures were invisible to the crowd. They moved at such speeds that all they could get a glimpse of was streaks of colors. There was a crash, and everyone saw Lee in a hole in the wall. Naruto stood at the opposite end of the arena, not a hair out of place. "I see your flames of youth burns brightly, my friend. Such a hypocrite you are, Lee. You call me your friend, yet all you want from me is to submit my entire life to a village and people that despise me." Before Lee could reply, or even move, Naruto was there, his fist buried in Lee's abdomen, knocking the breath out of him. "Remember, Lee, I have no personal problems against you, but anyone who fights for this wretched village is my enemy." Lee twisted out of Naruto's hold and swiped his right leg at him. Naruto blocked and again punched Lee hard. "I will leave Konoha crippled by the end of the day, and by proxy, anyone who fights for Konoha too." Lee attempted a left hook, but Naruto was not there anymore. Instead, he was behind Lee, with one hand on Lee's spine. "It's over for you now, Lee." Pain, much like what the others who fought Naruto felt, slammed into Lee. Lee was on the ground stunned, not even capable of screaming, and then he lost consciousness. "Winner, Naruto Uzumaki." The crowd roared. Though most were a little confused at what exactly Naruto had done to Lee since no external injuries were seen. Kayashiro stood up gracefully from his seat. Gaara looked at him with an eyebrow raised. "Where are you going?" Mei asked. "I have some business that needs attending." Kayashiro didn't explain further, and the Kages didn't push, as they trusted him. Kayashiro once again looked at the violet-eyed, raven-haired beauty among the nobles and slowly made his way over. Naruto Uzumaki v/S Kiba Inuzuka begin. "Get ready, boy. We are winning this match, no matter what." Akamaru acknowledged Kiba's words with a bark. The K9 knew that the chances of them winning the match was very low, but he would stand by his master till the end. Even though the said master was very good at digging his own grave with his attitude, Akamaru couldn't just let him die. "As cocky as ever, at Kiba?" Naruto asked, smirking. Kiba's answer was a yell of man-beast mimicry, and suddenly, there were two feral-looking Kibas. "Have you learned no new tricks yet? All of you just use the same old techniques." Naruto answered, bored. "We'll show you what we can do." Kiba yelled, getting ready for a jutsu. But Naruto had other plans as he turned his eyes to the second Kiba and spoke. "Stay out of this one. Let the puppy fight this match on his own." As soon as he finished, vines erupted from the ground and coiled around that Kiba, immobilizing him completely. And right after that, that Kiba turned into Akamaru, who was tangled in the vines with no escape. Akamaru, the original who was standing at the side, yelled, "Down, puppy. Your master will be safe." "What? Too afraid to do anything without your dear sweet Akamaru?" Naruto taunted Kiba, who growled, "You bastard." Kiba performed a Fong over Fong, much weaker than when with Akamaru. As the spinning Kiba approached, Naruto stood there, not even trying to dodge. By now, the rest of the ninjas knew not to underestimate the blonde, so they simply watched carefully to see what he would do. And Naruto didn't disappoint them. As soon as Kiba was near, he extended his hand, and the tornado crashed into an invisible wall. As Naruto flexed his hand, Kiba found himself thrown back. "It's a barrier," Kakashi said, his Sharingan analyzing the barrier Naruto cast without any seals. "So he knows sealing arts? Or is it some type of jutsu?" Asuma asked. "Not sure, but he has no seals on him as far as I can see." I hope you guys liked the story. If you did, click on any of the videos which are popping on the screen right now. I promise you'll love them too. If you like my videos, you can like and subscribe too. I'll see you on another amazing What If video, guys. Love you all. Peace.